away from 110 sacks in his career. A big milestone for him. Just to put it in perspective, Khalil Mack is a sack and a half away. So think about the difference in how long those two both elite pass rushers, Hall of Fame pass rushers have been playing to see the difference. Let's go out to Chicago. A lot of action, a lot of big plays have happened since we last caught up with them. David Schuster's got you covered.
All right, Anthony, 3:34 to go here in the fourth quarter. The Bears just about set to go for the victory here. They lead at 26-14. They've intercepted Spencer Rattler 3 times on the day. They've also sacked him 4 times. Rattler also with a fumble that was recovered early in the game that led to the Bears' first points. Jake Moody, 4 field goals for the Bears. That's 8 over the last 2 weeks, and he's not even their regular kicker. DeAndre Swift, over 100 yards. He's got a quiet, if there's such a thing as a quiet, 113 yards on the day. So it looks like the Bears are going to win their 4th in a row. They lead at 26-14, 3 minutes and change to go here in the fourth quarter.
Thank you so much. Let's jump back out to MetLife as we've got an update from Mike Moriarty.
Yeah, Anthony, 6:10 and counting left to play in the game. Panthers have the ball up here 13-6. The Jets just did come into that with a 47-yard field goal for Nick Folk, a 56-yard, 9-play drive. So the Panthers are up here 13-6. Bryce Young, the Panthers quarterback, ruled out with an ankle injury. Sauce Gardner, the Jets defensive player, being evaluated for a concussion. Lone touchdown of the game came in the first half, a 3-yard flip pass from Young to Xavier Legette, who has 7 grabs for 53 yards for the Panthers. We're looking for their 3rd win in a row. The Jets trying for their first win of the season. Right now do trail by a touchdown, 13-6, 5:43 left to go with the Panthers have the ball.
Thank you very much. Let's go out to Minnesota as this game can't get more exciting, and Eric Nelson's got the complete breakdown for us.
Yeah, Anthony, right now, 2:58 to go in the fourth, and it is Philadelphia 28, Minnesota 25. The Vikings just got an apparent touchdown. Carson Wentz to T.J. Hawkinson. Wentz scrambling. Hawkinson running with Wentz, and he got to the back of the end zone and made a diving catch. And there's a review, and the touchdown will not count. That just happened as I'm talking to you, Anthony. Bill Vinovich, the referee today, they looked at it, obviously, from multiple angles. Hawkinson laid out, back of the end zone, and they're saying no touchdown. So Minnesota, instead of possibly getting this down to 2, now faces 4th and 2 from the 15 and absolutely has to convert here. And it looks like they're going to go for the first down. Remember, a 3 would get them within 6, but obviously you want to score, but you got to get the first down here. It's that simple for the Vikings. As the Eagles have the 28-19 lead, Jalen Hurts has 3 touchdowns in this game. Wentz will come out in the shotgun. Jordan Mason will be to his left. He's got 4 receivers in the package. So this essentially is your ball game. And we'll see if the Vikings can convert, and they do. It's Jordan Addison on the out route. He gets it inside the 10-yard line, and boy, Addison has been a beast today. That's 9 catches for roughly 130 yards for Jordan Addison. So now you start looking at the clock, 2:54 to go. Minnesota has all 3 of its timeouts remaining and a 2-minute warning. Again, Vikings trailing the Eagles, 28-19, 2:54 to go in the fourth. Vikings have a 1st and goal from the Eagles' 10. We'll stick around for one more play before I toss it back to you, Anthony, in New York City. But the Vikings, of course, trying to claw back in this one. And Wentz in trouble, and down he goes. The 2nd sack of the game for Philadelphia. And keep in mind, on this drive, Wentz has scrambled twice for a total of 28. He's looked like Fran Tarkenton, but not on that play. So it's going to be 2nd and 18 for Minnesota from the 19 of Philadelphia. 28-19 is the Eagle lead here late in the fourth.
Thank you so much, Eric. An exciting turn of events. Eric's been on fire today. He's been, the timing has been impeccable. We go to him and all the excitement. And this Eagles-Vikings game was our marquee matchup of the day, and it has lived up. I mean, it feels like the Vikings, they get in the end zone here. It's still a game, but it feels like this one might be coming to an end. But even with that said, it's been an exciting big game in the 1 o'clock window. A lot of action left. Jets have the ball and they are on their own 28. It's about to be second down for them, 2nd and 10, down 7, 13-6, 4:34 to go in that one. We'll see what happens there. We got a lot of action still left. Dolphins, Browns hit the 2-minute warning. Bears, Saints about to hit the 2-minute warning. And a few more. I think that is it. And final in Tennessee, Patriots 31, Titans 13. Final in Kansas City, Raiders 0 points as the Chiefs shut them out 31-0. We'll be back. Player interviews, updates, the 4 o'clock window, all that right here. Gridiron Game Day.
You're still glowing, flirting, grooving. You've still got it. But your immune system weakens as you age, making it harder to fight flu, pneumococcal pneumonia, RSV, and COVID-19. Vaccines are a key part of any health routine and help strengthen your immune response. Ask your doctor or pharmacist which vaccines you need. Schedule in minutes at vaxassist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Now that I'm a dad, I can't stop thinking about what would happen to my kids if something happened to me, like losing the house or not affording college.
Yeah, that used to keep me up at night too. It's why I finally got life insurance from Ethos. It's 100% online. No medical exams, just a few health questions. I got $2 million in coverage for around $2 a day.
I never realized it was that simple. Get your free quote at ethos.com/game. That's ethos.com/game.
Rates may vary. Bill monthly. Sample rate 10-year term life policy for a 35-year-old healthy non-smoker.
FinishingChicago.com's decorative finishing contractors can transform your commercial spaces for staff, tenants, and customers alike. Our contractors' dedication to safety ensures everyone, including the assets of your building itself, are taken care of from start to amazing finishes. Visit FinishingChicago.com for your free list of decorative contractors specializing in decorative painting, wall covering, drywall finishing, glass systems, and custom signage. For a great finish, start with FinishingChicago.com.
Hey, Mr. C, it's me. Well, I just picked up the ring. I actually went to Hellsberg. Thanks for that recommendation. Kate's gonna love that hers is from the same jeweler you got Mrs. C's ring from. They were so helpful throughout the whole process. They even knew your family by name. And the ring looks great. Anyways, I just couldn't wait to let you guys know. Call me back and wish me luck.
Hellsberg, designed with care and craft since 1915. Shop in store or at hellsberg.com.
If you're one of the millions of Americans behind on your taxes, if you're afraid to open your mail because IRS collection letters could be coming, listen carefully. The IRS is cracking down, taking paychecks, freezing bank accounts, revoking passports. That's a fact. But here's what most people don't know. There are official tax relief programs designed to help struggling taxpayers. Programs that could save you thousands if you qualify. No one knows these programs better than the experts at Optima Tax Relief. Optima's award-winning team will fight to protect your paycheck, your passport, and your property. Their tax attorneys and licensed tax professionals will work tirelessly to get you the best deal possible with the IRS. Every day, penalties and interest keep piling up, so don't wait. Call Optima now for a free consultation.
Call 800-756-6399. 800-756-6399. 800-756-6399.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
More and more these days, people who are in pain are taking control of their health. They're looking beyond traditional medicine. Hey, it's Mully. People just like you are finding lasting relief without steroids, medications, or surgery right here in Chicago at QC Kinetics. Here's how it works. Your blood contains tiny but mighty healing tools. And at QC Kinetics, Dr. Caravelli and her team get to the root of where your pain stems from and concentrates these natural healing tools in the exact location. Call QC Kinetics today. Schedule a free consultation with Dr. Caravelli and her team. Call 312-847-4347. That's 312-847-4347. 312-847-4347.
This is the story of the one. As a custodial supervisor at a high school, he knows that during cold and flu season, germs spread fast. It's why he partners with Grainger to stay fully stocked on the products and supplies he needs, from tissues to disinfectants to floor scrubbers. All so that he can help students, staff, and teachers stay healthy and focused. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
At Straight Talk, we get it. You say no a lot.
Mom, can I get a tarantula? No. Coffee?
No. So we're giving you more reasons to say yes, like a free 5G phone with real unlimited data with select plan activation.
Can I use the free phone?
Yes. See? Doesn't it feel good to say yes to more?
Absolutely. Face tattoo? Absolutely not.
Available at straighttalk.com and Walmart. Taxes and fees apply. In-store activation of Gold Unlimited plan or higher required. For network management practices, visit straighttalk.com.
You're listening to Sports Radio 670 The Score, WSCR Chicago, WBMX HD2 Chicago, and Odyssey Sports Station. It's time for the Score's postgame show, presented by TimberTech Decking and Railing, #1 in premium decking. Order free samples at TimberTech.com and by Arturo Tire, Chicago's hometown tire. Find a dealer at Arturo.com. Now, here are your hosts, Olin Kreutz, Patrick Manley, and Mully from the Mully and Haugh Show on Chicago's Sports Radio 670 The Score. Always live on the free Odyssey and iHeartRadio apps.
Oh, yes, indeed. Welcome in to the football post-game show presented by TimberTech Decking and Railing and Arturo Tire. How about that? 4 in a row. We've got the great Olin Kreutz. We've got Patrick Manley, and we got the Bears. Wasn't a perfect game, right? But the Bears are winners, so that's very happy.
Yeah, that's a good win, right? I mean, these are a lot different than what we've done in the past. So it was a nice win to go up 20-0. I think all you can talk about really there's some bad things, but we'll talk about the good stuff. But there was 2 possessions, right before the half, and then coming out in the second half and giving up 14 points. But the run game, guys, the run game was amazing. Takeaways again, I was wrong. I said +2. They were +3 in the takeaways with 4 and giving 1 away. Caleb didn't play the best game in the world, right? No, but they still won with that run game. It's a credit to the O-line. This is a game where you've got to get a lot of credit to those guys up front, Coach Roshar and his unit. They dominated that game. What were the stats here? Were 222 yards rushing. DeAndre Swift averaged 6.5 yards a carry. Kyle Monangai averaged 6.2. And then the defense, guys. The defense is playing hard. They are flying around. They look like they're having fun. They're playing aggressive. That's obviously how takeaways come. But what a fun game to watch. What an easy game to watch. I kind of sold at the pregame that this is a better 1-5 team than their record. And scared me there for a second when they scored those 2 touchdowns back-to-back to end the first half and start the second half. But the Bears dominated overall, and that was a fun game to watch.
It really was. It really was. And to win the NFL is hard, and to win 4 in a row is really hard, no matter who you're playing. No matter who shows up at Soldier Field to play. Bears favored to win today, but they go out there again, play fast, physical, tough football is what we watched today, man. And talked about going to the game with the win and the elements. Run the ball, right? Have the O-line take over, put it on the big guys up front. And I think those guys are getting a little bit of a groove, right? Coach Roshar, offensive line coach for the Chicago Bears. Eric Bieniemy, running back coach for the Chicago Bears. A lot of questions first 2 or 3 weeks. What's wrong with the run game? Why can't they get it going? And just kept talking about, okay, maybe they got to get to know each other, get a little more comfortable with the concepts and what they want to run and what they want to ask their guys to do. And what we're seeing now, Pat and Mully, is a run game coming together, right? And really, guys, I know Caleb didn't look great. It didn't play great in the pass game. Didn't look great, but the threat of the pass game is there. And you can see it just by the way the New Orleans Saints calls defense, right? It's not like they don't exist, Pat. It's not like you line up and you're looking at goal line defense or short yardage all game. They are giving them favorable run fronts because that is Roma Dunze, that is DJ Moore, right? That is Colston Loveland, that is Swift. And Caleb can get the ball down the field, and he can threaten you with his arm. So all those things need to work together for that run game to look the way it looked. And then, man, that defense and Dennis Allen and what they're doing and covering people and Al Harris, how long are we going to keep him as our secondary coach? That secondary, even with their injuries, very sound, play very fast. Brisker off the edge. Kyler Gordon blitzing, right? Tremaine Edmonds 4 takeaways again. I mean, are you kidding me? I mean, it's unbelievable, man. I mean, that's 15 in 4 games. They're on a torrid pace right now. Take the win, obviously, week to week. But they look tough, fast, and physical to me out there, man. And they did what they had to do to win the football game.
Hey, Olin, is this 7-on-7 team becoming a physical team? It looks
they
like
really are.
They
really are,
yeah.
man. And that outside zone right with that combination block between Dahlman and Jackson. And Jackson took a lot of heat for early on in the weeks, and even today, sometimes his pass pro is in question over there at right guard. But look, man, that run game today with Swift and Monangai coming downhill, and even Komet goes out and injuries they had, and really that inside 3, Tooney and Benedict cutting off the backside, and then Darnell Wright just all game long leaning on guys. Really was fun to watch today.
Olin, correct me if I'm wrong. Ray Diaz and I watched the game together, and we were talking about, and Moose was talking about it, how they're kind of running the same plays over and over, but they're window dressing it with formations, with motions, and all that kind of stuff. Is that what we're seeing? The run, it looks like the same plays, but guys are moving all over the place in the backfield, and that's confusing linebackers, getting them, maybe not sure what's going to happen. But then that simplifies it up front for the guys, knowing we're running these same plays. They're still going to line up the same way.
Yeah, we talked about that in pregame, right? That's what they did last week. Talked about how they dressed up their motions and stuff, but it's the same concept for the offensive line, right? They're getting reps at the same blocks, the same looks, how they want to fit in on double teams, how they line back. We saw an early miss on Demario Davis by Darnell Wright on a combo up to the linebacker. Well, if you run it again, he'll get him the next time. Was something that we always said, run that play again. I know how he wants to play that now. And we talked about that's what they did last week coming out of bye week, right? Coach Johnson said, let's cut the menu down. Let's just put more motions, run different plays out. And then they have just enough special plays, I like to call it, where it's like you run it 2 or 3 times a game, and it keeps people off balance. You see what this Zacchaeus, right, end around. Or you see it with it's like a fake jet sweep, bend run play to Swift. And it just keeps the defense just enough honest that they can't play that one play. And it's really what all the really good running teams do, right, Pat? And you know that. I mean, they don't have 50 million concepts. They're really committed to one thing. Everyone knows what they got to do on that play. And it looks like the Chicago Bears, again, for 2 weeks, that's what they've been doing, man. And it was fun to watch. And then that defense just really fast, really physical, and they will hit you when you get the ball out there in the open field.
Real quick, what's nice is that we have an offensive genius as a head coach, right, who loves the run game.
Right.
Who's committed to the run game, dressing up the run game, making sure the run game works. I mean, this is a nice thing to be talking about. To talk about, the intricacies of a run game compared to a pass game, and that's how you had to win today. Caleb did, like we said, Caleb didn't have his greatest game, but they still dominated. They dominated the line of scrimmage, and a lot of credit goes to Ben Johnson and his offensive staff of dialing up a run game to dominate and win a game.
Yeah, and that's what Ben did in Detroit, right?
Yes.
When he had the number 1 offensive line in the league, and he had 2 really good running backs. But I do want to make this point. The last 2 weeks, the running game is working, is sound because of the threat of Caleb and the pass game. And they're not great, but just the play calls coming in from the sideline, you see a lot of light boxes, I like to call them. That means you have a guy to block everybody, Pat, right? And when you're watching the game, you're thinking, man, that is a favorable look for a run play, right? And the fact that Ben would call anything at any time, and Caleb has the arm, and Rome Odunze and DJ Moore, and those guys can threaten you down the field. The fact that you have that threat, even though it doesn't look like they did great today and the yardages don't look great, the threat of it and the play call from the sideline allows you to run the ball.
And as Ben Johnson said last week, boy, if they ever get those penalties solved, they'll be an awful hard team to beat. They had another 10 penalties, and I don't know how many were pre-snap penalties, but there was 4 or 5 that were that really got them off their timing, and it was difficult. And maybe they got away with a couple things. The whole thing with Jude Dahlman, the center, and the first snap. They were saying that should have been the one where he never snapped the ball. I didn't know if that was like a center fake or something, but he never snapped the ball. It should have been an illegal snap on that play.
Yeah, it should have been a lot of things, but what you're seeing there is the center anticipating the count, and something changes there, right? And I don't know if it's Caleb or Drew was going too early, or Caleb with the motion hold the cadence a little longer, and Dahlman is trying to time the count, which he does on every play. Just gets a little more critical and faster pace down there, closer to the end zone. And I know I've never seen where the ball, obviously I've done a lot of things, right, with the football at the center position, but where I held on to the ball while the play was going, I've never seen. Then he got hit and tackled it. They're trying to make him fumble, and that was kind of a crazy play altogether. But as Pat knows, I've worked with a lot of different quarterbacks in and out, and even during the season, sometimes go to 3 to 4 quarterbacks, and cadences change. And these guys, what is this? They're 6 game together, right? So sometimes they have to go back and still learn from it, but they beat a team, and hopefully they learn, like, look, man, next time I have this motion, I'm going to hold that cadence just a little bit longer, so don't jump it. Stay patient.
Yeah, guys, we've seen in the past, and we've talked too many times, when there are penalties and issues like that, the Bears can't overcome them. You know what I mean? They're turning the ball over. They're giving the ball back. They're not scoring a field goal. They're the main issues that are causing losses. Now they're overcoming them, which is huge. I mean, what you said, 10 penalties, 92 yards.
Yes.
2 snapping infractions, whatever you want to call them. Got lucky with one to get the 3 points and go up 9 instead of giving the ball back to them. But this is the sign of a good team.
You got lucky with the other one because it sent them back 5 yards and they got the field goal. I mean, those were important points to get at that moment in the game.
Yeah, I know Ben Johnson and his deal of being aggressive, but that to me, to go up 9,
yes,
that I don't know. There's some points in the game or some points during the season or whatever it is that just take the points and be a little smart. And I'm glad it didn't bite them. I don't think it would have at the end. I think the Bears just outplayed them no matter what. But that's a situation where just me being the observer, the fan, analyst, whatever it is, take the 3 points there and just make it a two possession game for sure.
Yeah, I wrote in my notes there, take the points and Ben doesn't care.
Yes, yes.
I think Ben should take the points, and then I wrote, I think Ben doesn't care.
Yeah, exactly. They did wind up with 222 rushing yards versus 44 for the Saints. I mean, that is a very dominant performance for the Bears in terms of the rushing game, and to see them do it the way they did it with another big game from DeAndre Sweat. I mean, it was pretty sensational to see him get 124 yards, I believe, on 19 carries. Kyle Monunge, he got 13 carries. That's a high in his career. Rookie 7th rounder, and he got 81 yards, also a high in his career. And that was great to see both those guys sort of, used in the way they were used. Even got 11 yards from Roschon Johnson, which we never thought we'd see.
We talked about going to the game, right, that what looked repeatable from the Commanders game, and it was the run defense and running the ball.
Yep.
And that's what showed up again, right, in that run defense. They're fitting in well. Billings continues to play good football since they've inserted him as a starting nose guard. All of them, though, really, their run fits. With T.J. Edwards coming back, Kyler Gordon coming off the edge, Brisker. You heard the Moose mention that, Kellen Moore mentioned that Kyler Gordon comes off the edge really worries him, right, because he's that good at blitzing. And we just see that this team all fitting together and doing those two things along with these takeaways, man. They're hard to beat. They're hard to beat in football, and that's what we're seeing from this Chicago Bears team.
I thought the defense during a sequence there in the first half, they were just so dominant. It was kind of extraordinary to see them, whether it's Brisker, whether it was Gordon. I mean, Montez Sweat had another good game, and we've called him out quite a bit for not having great games. I thought he played well. I thought they got a lot out of that defense. It was really very impressive for a few series there.
I'll be honest with you guys. Last week I joked we have Kyler Gordon and T.J. Edwards back, and the run game is now stopped, right? We're going to stop the run game. Well, they have. They look different, man. Right. They look different. They play I don't know if their effort. It looks more aggressive. It looks more physical. Just looks like they've turned it up a notch or two, if that makes sense. You know what I mean? They've gone from like an 8 to a 10 or like a 7 to a 9. Their effort just looks a little bit hard, like they're playing a little bit harder. I don't know what it is. They have a little bit more swagger. But those two guys, I mean, they've made a difference. They really have. I didn't know they'd make that big of a difference, and they're fun to watch. You watch Brisker and Gordon come off the edge, it's a lot of fun. And was it Gordon that got the call or Brisker that got the call? He hit the guy too hard, and they called a personal foul?
Yes.
Yeah, I disagreed with that one. I guess he left his feet in the letter
Gordon,
of the law or the letter of the rule or whatever, but
yeah.
I just disagree with that. That's just physical football.
I hated the penalty for roughing the passer on a play when he hit the passer's arm before the ball was released. It changed the trajectory of the pass, and on the follow-through, he hits him in the helmet, and they throw a flag for that? You got to be kidding me. That's all one motion, and the guy's holding the ball when he hit him.
Mm-hmm. I know it's anytime you hit the quarterback in the head, it's a personal foul. I understand that. But I agree with you, Mully. There should be a change. If you're swinging for the football and you actually get a piece of the football, it shouldn't be a penalty, because you're going to cause, a takeaway there, a fumble. And they just to your point, Pat, this defense, man, they have been on fire. And really, they weren't stopping a run, but before T.J. Edwards and Kyler Gordon came back, they were getting still the takeaways. They're still getting. Yes. I mean, it's unbelievable to watch the pace that they're on. I mean, that Montez Sweat, the secondary, right? That Montez Sweat fumble, he made the secondary made him, the quarterback Rattler, hold the ball in the pocket. Billings pushes his guy back. He's got to step up, and Montez punches it out. That must have been about 5 seconds after the snap. I mean, that's how good that secondary is covering there on 2nd and 4. So just really, as a unit, that defense right now, Dennis Allen and all his coaching staff, I mean, that along with just everything you're watching right now, to come back from that, starting 0-2 and go on this run, really, really impressive run right now by the Chicago Bears and what they're accomplishing.
Yeah, and it seems like everybody on the defense is fulfilling the role. I'm talking about Kevin Byard being that senior leadership back there that he has, the senior player. That was a great shot they showed of him reading Rattler's eyes when he's pointing, go left or whatever, and he sees it. He's like, I'm going to get over there and intercept the ball. But that's what a veteran does. And everybody seems like they're playing their role and they're playing to what they're supposed to be playing as. And Dennis Allen has really got this team. He seems like he knows everybody's skill set now and has them all dialed in.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. He looked like he enjoyed that game. I mean, as much as he held his emotions in check, he seemed at the end like he really enjoyed it.
Well, even the coaches, right, Pat? I mean, when that ball's popping out, they're like, "Whoa, there it is again!" You go on runs like this, you got to enjoy them.
Yes.
Right? You got to enjoy the run that they're on right now. And we talked about going on the pregame show how when you play for a certain coach, and he says, "Look, if you just do this, this will happen." The first couple of times you don't listen to him, you're like, "Gosh, that's what he was talking about," right? And then you see everyone start to buy in, and this defense has bought into Coach Allen and his staff and what they're selling over there on that side of the ball, because they are all just, okay, this is my job. This is my role. This is the role I feel. This is what I do. And he has asked, T.J. Edwards and Tremaine Edmonds to fill different roles, right, to do opposite of what they did last year and to believe in what he's asking them to do. And they've done that. And since T.J. Edwards came back, Tremaine Edmonds is a totally different player.
Yeah.
Right. He's lined up perfectly.
I'm going to give you an example, guys. I saw it during the game, and this is just something for me being on the sideline for most of the game. And you're talking about buy-in. You're talking about team buy-in. Torrey Taylor had a punt he put out on the 7 or 8 yard line on the sideline. And I think it was Kyler Gordon or Jaquan Brisker, I didn't know if it was a 6 or 9, is running down the sideline, chasing the punt and celebrating it. You know what I mean? That's the team celebrating each other. That is a true team buy-in. That's when everybody is into the game, every situation. I know it's a little thing, but that's stuff I saw on the sidelines of good teams that cared about everything. They were in on everything. And when I saw that, I turned to Ray again, and I'm like, all right, this team is bought in on everything. They're pulling for everybody. That doesn't happen. That happens on good teams, and that happens on teams that care about each other.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And
fun to watch.
Yeah, it was a really fun watch. Congratulations to Colston Loveland. He had 3 receptions, which tied him for the team lead with DJ Moore. He gained 24 yards, Moore gained 43, and Romadunze had 2 catches along with Manungai had a couple catches, and Olamide Zacchaeus had a couple of catches. So that was good, the way they distributed the ball. But, you just kind of hope everyone is healthy. We saw some guys leave, and we know Cole Kmet left the game with a back injury, did not return. We know that Tyreek Stevenson left the game and could not return, and with a shoulder. And he's now gone from a guy who you kind of were wondering where he fit into, oh, no, don't let them lose him. You kind of have a totally different feel for that guy.
Yeah, I mean, when he's in coverage, man, he is all over though with that guy, right? He plays physical in the run game. He almost plays in the run game like a safety to me when he hits people and gets after people. So he has really raised his level, I think, under Al Harris' tutelage. We talked about that. Everyone's talked about what Al Harris has brought to that defense, the secondary coach for the Chicago Bears. And I think that Tyreek Stevenson losing him, Mully, like you're talking about, injuries piled up. Cole Kmet, I think, went out. DJ Moore looks like he's a little banged up. So want this team to stay healthy with the run that they're on, because obviously, like we know, they're already missing Johnson, right? And that's the thing you watch in this defense. You're like, man, they don't even have what you consider their best player out there, right? And it's just an amazing run that they're on. And now that this guy is, you don't want to lose both your starting cornerbacks going into the year. That would really be big, like you're saying, Mully. But hopefully he just got dinged up a little bit, and they get good news here on Monday or Tuesday that he's fine and ready to go, because they definitely need him in that secondary.
All right, we're going to open up the phone lines, 312-644-6767. Anyone with any thoughts and questions, comments, you are welcome to join us, and we will be right back on, of course, the post-game show, which is presented by TimberTech Decking and Railing and Atturo Tire on The Score.
The Bears win. Ben Johnson and the Bears make it 4 victories in a row, beating the Saints in front of the Soldier-Field faithful and improving to 4-2 on the season.
Rattler throws. It's deflected and intercepted by Edmonds. Tremaine Edmonds with the pick. The Bears take it away.
Stick around as all of our shows and Bears experts dissect the game from every angle and take you inside the locker room. Plus, we'll look ahead to their next matchup when they take on the Ravens on the road. Right here on Chicago's Sports Radio 670 The Score. Always live on the free Odyssey and iHeartRadio apps.
This hour is brought to you by Cars for Kids.
It's that time of year again, hockey season and cold weather. As a proud partner of the Chicago Blackhawks and Chicago's hometown tire, Atturo knows just what drivers need for this climate. Check out the new all-weather category of tires available from Atturo. Offering year-round performance, all-weather tires are your safest bet for any season. Get your vehicle ready for winter with a new set of Atturo tires. Visit Atturo.com to find performance within reach at your local independent Atturo tire dealer.
Hey Chicago fans, Patrick Manley here. It's time to kick off your deck project with TimberTech, a real decking all-star. TimberTech is the #1 brand in premium decking. It delivers real wood looks without the hassle of costly maintenance, and it will never rot, warp, splinter, or peel. Plus, with industry-leading warranties, you know your deck will perform at the top of its game season after season. Discover why TimberTech is Chicago's MVP of decking and railing. Order free samples at timbertech.com.
When you're betting and find yourself constantly thinking about gambling and you're losing more money than you have, are you really winning? If you're spending too much time with the slots or you can't stop betting on sports and you find yourself feeling overwhelmed, maybe lying, and probably losing more money than you can afford to lose, you're not alone and you can get help. It's available 24/7 and it's confidential. When your betting has gotten out of hand, call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit www.areyoureallywinning.com. Sponsored by the Illinois Department of Human Services.
Hey, football fans, picture this. You bet on your favorite player to score the first touchdown of the game, but his teammate scores instead. If this happens, BetMGM wants to give you another chance at the end zone. With BetMGM's second chance promotion, you'll get your stake back if your first touchdown scorer scores second instead. That's right. Bet on any pro football player to score the first touchdown of the game. If you're right, you win. If your player scores second, you get your stake back in cash. With BetMGM's second chance offer, you have a chance to keep the fun going after the first player crosses the goal line. Try a first TD score wager with confidence today. BetMGM. Make it legendary. BetMGM and GameSense remind you to play responsibly. See BetMGM.com for terms. 21 plus only. Illinois only. Existing customer offer. Subject to eligibility requirements. Rewards paid back in unrestricted withdrawable funds. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER 426-2537 or by texting ILGAMB to 53342 in partnership with Paradise Hotel Casino.
Hey Chicago, it's David Haugh from The Score here, and you know I'm all about staying connected no matter what, and nobody does it like Verizon. I'm talking about the best 5G in Chicago, and with Verizon, everything just works. Need to check traffic before your commute? Boom, instantly. Trying to snag that impossible dinner reservation? Consider it done. This isn't just fast, it's America's most reliable 5G network, keeping you connected to what matters most. And get this, right now, when you bring your own phone and switch to Verizon on Unlimited Welcome with AutoPay Plus, taxes and fees, you can get a single line for just $50 a month. You heard that right. The best 5G in Chicago for just $50 a month. So if you're ready to experience the difference with the best 5G network around, stop by your nearest Chicago Verizon store today. $20 monthly promo credits applied over 36 months with a new line on Unlimited Welcome. In times of congestion, unlimited 5G and 4G LTE may be temporarily slower than other traffic. Domestic data roaming at 2G speed. Rankings based on Root Metrics Root Score. Report dated 2H 2024. Your results may vary. Additional terms apply.
It all comes down to this, folks.
Yep, the entire season is on the line.
But my throat has officially thrown in the towel.
Sounds like you need Vicks VapoCool drops. They're max strength and vaporize sore throat pain.
Whoa! These VapoCool drops hit fast!
Speaking of fast, did you just see that play?
Yeah, he vaporized that ball.
That pun should have come with a penalty.
Vaporize sore throat pain with Vicks VapoCool drops. Use as directed.
Huddle up! Gulf Mill Ford has new F-150s, Escapes, or Bronco Sports for $399 a month. You'll score big at this Ford Giant. F-150s, Escapes, and Broncos for $399 a month are at Illinois' largest Ford dealer, Gulf Mill Ford in Niles.
This will end the Saints' 8-game winning streak against the Chicago Bears. As Caleb Williams takes a knee, and the Bears, for the second straight season, are going to start 4-2 in a season, and that's where you probably temper your enthusiasm a little bit if you're a Bears fan, because you saw it last year. You look ahead, though, and there are some winnable opportunities coming up.
Welcome back. It is the football post-game show presented by TimberTech Decking and Railing and Atturo Tire. And we've got a lot of people who want to check in. The number again, 312-644-6767. We're talking about the Bears' now 4-game winning streak and their first victory over New Orleans in a while. And this, again, is the first 4-game winning streak since 2018. Bears on a roll, and let's start the conversation with Joe. Joe's in Wisconsin. Hey, Joe.
Hey, guys. How y'all doing?
Good.
Good. Well, I am never going to complain about the fact that they won. I mean, the run game, they looked really good today. Monangai had his coming-out game. Swift looked great again. Passing offense, definitely something left to be desired. I mean, I'm sure we can all agree on that. But I'm curious. So, Colston Loveland, for some reason, I don't know how to explain it, but I feel like I'm just expecting more, I guess. Maybe I'm just getting a little bit of comparison when you see how Tyler Warren's doing in Indianapolis, and I'm no way saying the Bears should have drafted Tyler Warren, but I think just making sure that Colston gets involved more in this offense, like, what are you guys seeing out there? Do you think it's just he's not fully ready yet, or schematically the system isn't really built to have him included that much, or what are you guys seeing out there from Loveland?
Well, I see this. I mean, that it's going to take time for Ben Johnson to figure everybody else. And he's a rookie, right? I think that's part of it as well.
Yep. And a young rookie. He's 21.
Yes. And so Caleb only threw the ball 26 times. I'm just going to go through stats here. DJ Moore was targeted 5 times. Rome was targeted the most 6 times. Loveland was targeted the third most at 4. So I think that's the most he's had his entire career so far. So I think it's coming into the picture that he's going to be targeted more. And if Cole's hurt, then obviously he'll get some more. But I think it's just going to take some time. I don't know right now if he's a Kelsey, a Gronk or anything like that. I think that's what people are hoping for. Maybe he can grow into that. But I think this is something that's just going to take time. He's a rookie, and it take time for Ben Johnson to figure out how to use him properly.
Yeah, and he was hurt, right, for a couple of games. So he was out and didn't get his work in practice. And really, when you watch it, and even when he came in for Cole Kmet today, I think he had a false start and just aligning and stuff. They asked the tight ends to do a lot. They asked him to line up in a lot of places, pull a lot, wham block. By that, I mean they let a defensive tackle go and you come back and hit that guy. Then you got to go in motion, lead reverses. And there's just a lot of concepts and things that they want the tight end to learn. But that is 2 games in a row there where at the end of the game on third down, he's got the catch, right? Yep. He's got the catch to make. He had it today again. So you can see in those moments, he's a big target, a big body, and you start to see how they probably imagine using him. So, hopefully Cole Kmet's not out for a while, but if he is, then the reps will increase, Pat. And like you're saying, they'll notice how they want to use him, because I will give this coaching staff this. When they do watch guys, when they do see them on the field, when they are on film, they find what they're good at, and they ask them to do that and find ways to use guys to threaten the defense.
Yeah.
Yeah, they really feel that he has an advantage with his size and speed. And they have talked about that really since they took him, that he is such a long player, and that, he can catch a ball, he can jump up and get a ball like he did in the first half. He had a big catch. And I think that the idea they want to play a lot of 2 tight end sets, and they feel like when he attacks the seam, he is a real advantage both as a runner but also with his size over a corner, and he just is he's the kind of player that they really have high hopes for, and I think that we'll see that develop. But I mean, he's not the kind of tight end that Warren is. He's just a different type of player. He's not like the kind of large physical guy. He's more of and I don't mean this in any negativity, but when they talk about 2 tight end sets, they feel like that basically he can be an extra receiver.
Yeah, kind of like a Brock Bowers, for the Raiders. I think that's kind of what I was hoping for when we drafted him. Brock Bowers had a heck of a year last year as a rookie, and maybe he can grow into that. Maybe he will get more use that way. We will see. I mean, like you said, if he's 20 years old and his 6th game in the NFL, offensive coordinator figure out how to use him. So we're seeing growth. That's the biggest thing, right? We're not seeing a drop off. We're not seeing big mistakes. We're seeing growth, and I think to me that's all I can ask for a young rookie that's coming in. I want to see him continue growing, not just making mistakes all the time, dropping balls, lining up in the wrong areas. And the other thing, Olin, you're talking about making him do a lot. The motions the tight ends have to do of timing it up on the snap count, everything they're doing, it's a lot. And then for a young man to come into the NFL and be asked to do that, it's a lot on his plate, and he's doing an okay job so far.
Yeah, and he'll be 21 through the whole season, right? And most of these college guys you see come out now, I think they're like 24, 25, right, with the COVID year, 6-year guys. This guy's a really young player, and I think when they drafted him knowing like they got Cole Kmet, right? They got a guy in front of him that he can learn from, but also to miss games and to continue to develop your game. This guy's got a long way to go. So, just to the caller, I would say, you watch, let him learn, let him grow, and see what he becomes, because he definitely does have the traits, right, that Ryan Poles seems to like, right? As long as you have long arms, Ryan Poles will draft you.
We're going to bring in Devin. Devin is in Rockford. Hey, Devin.
Hey, fellas, how's it going?
Good.
I'll go a little meatball here, but I don't know if it's divine intervention from the Pope or what, but it just feels so nice to exercise some of these demons of winning games we definitely would have lost, beating the Saints for the first time in forever, winning against Washington or what, but it just feels so nice to get these wins right now. So I just got to say, bear down, let's go.
Yeah, it's clearly the Pope. It's
it's some of the takeaways too, I'm sure.
Yeah. Oh God. Yeah. Oh God. Yes.
Divine intervention.
Hey, Mully, did you see the Pope? Someone yelled at him about the Go Cubs. Did you see what he said?
Oh, he said, Han perdito, They
lost. He said they lost.
Oh, my God. The idea that the Pope is, like, aware of everything going on in Chicago is hysterical. You know, think about this, guys. The Pope knows both of you. He is well aware. He was here following your careers during those years, right? If he was at the 2005 World Series, guess what? He's a Southside guy who grew up as a Sox fan and a Bears fan. There's no doubt about it.
We need a post-game call-in from the Pope.
Yes!
Maybe if they get to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, it's still relatively early. It's only 6 hours ahead. It's not even 10 o'clock.
The Pope sleeps?
Tyler called the Pope.
Tell the Pope we need Tyreek Stevenson next week.
Yes.
We need Cole Kmet healthy. We gotta get everybody back on
Jalen
the
Johnson,
field.
get him back, please.
Yeah, we're on this 4-game run. We don't need to hit injuries right now. So that would definitely help us.
So the greatest story with the Pope is that the Cubs were apparently told, I think ABC News had a guy who said that the Pope was a Cubs fan. So the minute he was named, the Cubs ran a banner outside on the marquee of the stadium, and that marquee network also ran a thing where they said the Pope, the new Pope elected, is a Cubs fan. And then his brother said, no, we grew up as Sox fans. The Pope is not a Cubs fan. So they didn't want to take the whole thing down. So they said the Pope is a local baseball fan. They didn't clarify which team. But it's just so funny. I mean, the guy grew up on the South Side and is now the Pope, and he's yelling, as you say, to some guy yelling, "Go Cubs!" Oh, it's so great. It's just too funny.
We know he's a Bears fan, and he's probably happy with
Yes.
his 4-game win streak and the run that
be.
they're on. And if he's a Southside guy, he'd like the run game today. We know that. He wants him to run the ball and get the ball downhill, and he wants that defense playing good, hard, and physical, and getting takeaways. So we watched some old school Bears football today.
Yeah, we did.
Let's bring in Dave. Dave's in Woodridge. Hey, Dave.
Hey guys, with the change at left tackle from Braxton Jones to Tyler Benedict, it looked like the running game got unleashed as well. Is that a coincidence? And how do you think Benedict has improved the offensive line play for the Bears?
I think Theo definitely adds some physicalness, and it's a good point by you, Dave, when you watch the way he comes off the ball. We call it a backside B block, right, where it's a double team between the backside guard and backside tackle. And by backside, I mean away from where the running back is running the ball. Him and Joe Tooney are doing a really good job on that combination block. And Benedict comes off the ball low, his pad level is low, his back is flat, and he runs his feet through people, and he gives you everything he's got, right? And I think that a lot of things have come to this where we are now with the run game, the coaches getting to know each other, going to the bye week, everyone getting to watch every run play and say, oh, okay, they got their numbers correct now when you watch them, right, Mully and Pat?
Yes.
By that I mean who has 1, who has 0, who has 2, who has 3, who has 4, who has 1, 2, 3 backside. It's a number scale that a lot of offensive lines use. And now everybody seems to be on their right guy. And today was a little more complicated looks than the Commanders gave them out there in Washington. They were still all on the right guys and doing the right thing. So, yes, Theo is a big part of it. Manley mentioned in the pregame that's probably why Braxton went to the bench. I think he had 3 mental errors in the game that they took him out and put Theo in and said that, that basically was enough. So that all coming together is why we're watching this run game now really kind of explode in the last 2 weeks.
Yeah, Olin, you're not seeing the mental mistakes. You're not seeing the free runner, to just a non-foot O-lineman. You see the free runner, a guy making a tackle in the backfield. There were a few of those where I thought Braxton, or they were off on the count, where it looked like it was Braxton Jones missing their guy. And the other thing you always hear from coaches, right? If you're going to make a mistake, make it full speed. That's the way Theo plays, man. He plays full speed. Everything is as hard as he can. He might make mistakes. He got beat by Chase Young today on a pass block play. It wasn't a run play, obviously, and Caleb saved him. But he looks like, to me, he's an effort player, playing 100% every snap. And then how lucky is he to have Joe Tooney next to him, to play with a guy like that? That'd be a good way to come in as a young player, to have a savvy veteran like that I'm sure that puts a high standard on him and expects a lot out of him. But to get to play next to him is I don't know if you call it a treat. It's a treat, but it's also it helps a lot to play next to a guy that is that good.
He did have a couple pre-snap penalties in this
did.
game, so that's obviously something to be concerned with just because, and it's probably a typical type of putting the Mully on a guy, but Ben Johnson was asked about that the penalties, they had some penalties last week, but they had no pre-snap penalties, and that must have made him cringe because you can't really talk about that because here we are a week later and they had a bunch of them. So that's just a little bit of an annoyance for even bringing it up. But, they got to clean that up. That is just the reality of it. I mean, they got a couple harsh calls again, but pre-snap stuff you can't put up.
Here's speculation, Olin and Mully, is that how much of this is on Caleb? If you have 2 snap infractions and then the left tackle jumping off sides. You've talked about it, Olin, with the cadence and getting used to the cadence where it was cohesive and comfortable and everybody seemed like they're on the same page. Was he changing it up a little bit today? Was that on Caleb? Who's it on? I don't know. But when you have four penalties on the O-line like that, who do you point the finger at?
Yeah, the thing about Theo, too, is we know, like, if they get into games where they got to throw the ball, they're going to have to give him help, right? It's not going to be clean the whole time. And there was that 2-minute drill today at the end of the half where Chase, beat him 2 or 3 times in a row, and they had to start giving him help over there on the left side. We know there's going to be growing pains with Theo, but go back to the fact that, okay, he's going to make you beat him, and you don't want those pre-snap penalties, and we saw a few of them today by the Bears. We even saw a fumble snap right after that first interception, right, whether it was the snap was high and hot or we just dropped it, or what did we do there? And like you're saying, Pat, usually it's more than there's just one guy, and only they would know. There's no way to know that stuff unless you're there. Did the cadence change? Did the rhythm change? Did we not get the full cadence? Or are guys just jumping off sides like the one you talked about earlier, Mully, where Dahlman just held the ball up. There was no motion. There was nothing going on. He just might have snapped the ball early. But all that stuff is just, again, we're talking about going into this week. You got a beatable team. Find a way to beat them. They did. Takeaways helps a lot. But there are all these penalties and these pre-snap infractions that you're a little bit worried about when you're watching the Chicago Bears play.
All right, let's keep our action moving here. We'll squeeze in one more caller. Let's try Jake. He's in Champaign. Hey, Jake.
Hey, good to be on the show again. I got to say, Caleb Williams, when he gets flushed out of the pocket there, he's got his legs under him, and if he escapes, he usually throws an incomplete pass. When is he going to start running those legs underneath of him for a few more yards and make a positive outcome? And one more thing. When the Bears go marching in, or when the Bears go marching in, go Bears.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Love it.
Yeah.
Oh, it's about time we heard some singing on a post game, huh?
It is, man. And, to Jake's point, I mean, we're worried a little bit about, Caleb was rolling around there and then he was just firing it downfield, right? And we had that interception in the first half, but he wasn't rolling around there. It just hit his back. I think it was 3rd and 17. He was trying to go to Rome. And they got the interception there, but there was one that hit the Saints DB right in his hands. He threw it down the field, and he was pointing guys to go. And sometimes, just run it or throw the ball away. But obviously, when he does make the great play, then you're saying yes, right? It's one of those no, yes things, right? So I would just keep repeating what I said when we started this show, that the run game, even though the pass game wasn't there, I thought the pass game has a lot to do with the way the run game is excelling right now, because defenses are not giving them a stack box. You're not seeing those safeties down low. They're still scaring people enough to run the ball right now.
All right, we're going to take a quick timeout. We will be right back with all of your phone calls. You, of course, are listening to the football postgame show presented by TimberTech Decking and Railing and Aturo Tire here on The Score.
Plumbers 911 Football Mondays are bigger than ever, with all of our shows joined by an unprecedented team of experts reacting after the games. Plumbers 911 Football Mondays are presented by Busey Bank on Chicago's Sports Radio 670 The Score. Always live on the free Odyssey and iHeartRadio apps.
Zach Zaidman here from McGrath Acura of Westmont. Treat yourself to a new Acura. Right now, lease a 2025 Acura ADX for just $339 a month for 36 months. Visit McGrath Acura of Westmont on Ogden Avenue today and tell them Zach sent you.
When you do the math, you choose Ends 11/3/25 through Acura Financial Services. Not all will qualify. Based on MSRP. Tax, title, license, and doc fees extra. See dealer for complete details.
Hey, it's Coach Wanstead. When I need a perfect getaway, I hit the Four Winds Casinos in New Buffalo and South Bend. My wife and I love the first-class treatment they give you. The staff, from the valet to the dealers, are absolutely incredible. The hotel rooms are first class, the live entertainment is next level, and the food is out of this world. Whether you're playing your favorite table games or just watching the games at the sportsbook bar, it's always a guaranteed win. Four Winds Casinos in New Buffalo and South Bend. Your entertainment and sports escape. Tell them Coach Wanstead sent you.
This is an important notice to all U.S. taxpayers. The IRS is giving away billions of dollars in tax savings through a federal program called the Fresh Start Initiative to aid delinquent taxpayers. This initiative was established for anyone facing financial hardship and unable to pay their back taxes. Qualifying and enrolling in this program will stop all collections, settle your delinquent tax problem, and even reduce what you owe by thousands of dollars. Call the hotline at People's Tax Relief to see if you qualify and get this free information by dialing 800-867-7132. If you have unfiled tax returns or cannot afford to pay your personal or business back taxes, you can now get the help you need. One simple phone call can resolve your tax problem and save you thousands of dollars. To see if you qualify and to get this important free information, call 800-867-7132. 800-867-7132. 800-867-7132.
In St. Pete Clearwater, you can chill by the crystal clear Gulf.
And stroll downtown St. Pete's galleries and murals.
And hang with the locals at a fishing pier.
And escape to secluded white sand beaches.
Secluded, huh?
Yeah, and they're spectacular.
And then grab a sandwich at the grouper capital of the world.
And maybe a nightcap at a rooftop bar with sunset views.
Okay. In St. Pete Clearwater, you'll find just what you're looking for.
And then some.
Your Florida escape begins at visitspc.com.
Compassion is more than just care. It's commitment. At UI Health, your story guides us, shapes us, and inspires us. And we're with you every step of the way. Whether it's your stroke emergency, your cancer journey, or your transplant victory. At UI Health, our care heals, our care saves, and our care triumphs. Find expert care for your journey at uihealth.care.
I'm Bob Burke, founder and chairman of Burke America Parts Group, a family of brands that includes RepairClinic.com, an appliance and HVAC parts solution company that's grown into an international brand. Before AmericanEagle.com, we partially launched a new technology platform developed by another firm. American Eagle helped take our technology to a whole new level with digital marketing, software development, and business insights into our key markets, appliances, HVAC, and outdoor power equipment, and did so both on time and on budget. AmericanEagle.com has the resources, experience, and talent needed to produce solutions. Our new technology platform, developed by AmericanEagle.com, has produced tremendous results with higher traffic, conversion, engagement, and online revenue. If you have any home repairs you need to take care of, check us out at RepairClinic.com. If you need a world-class website or technology project, then I would highly recommend AmericanEagle.com.
Call AmericanEagle.com at 773-NETWORK. That's AmericanEagle.com, 773-NETWORK.
Don't live one more day with agonizing joint pain. QC Kinetics has solutions that will give you relief without steroids, harmful drugs, or surgery. The consultation is free. QCkinetics.com.
Mason Hill, the motion man, Rattler under pressure. Ball is out. He fumbled, and it's recovered by Chicago. Montez Sweat able to jar that loose, and the Bears have it at the 24-yard line of New Orleans. No official signal yet. Maybe it has changed hands at the bottom of the pile, but there were two Bears and one quarterback. And it's Chicago ball. The Saints cough it up. Inside the 25, Jervon Dexter recovers after the Montez Sweat strip.
Welcome back. It is the football post-game show presented by TimberTech Decking and Railing and Arturo Tire, and we've decided that is the hit of the game. Sponsored by Estwing Professional Tools, made in the USA for over 100 years. Estwing.com. That was the first takeaway of 4 for the Bears and the first sack of 4 for the Bears. So Montez Sweat with that strip sack, gets the hit of the game, and Javon Dexter, as you heard, recovered that ball, and the Bears had gone 3 and out on their opening possession, and next thing you know, they get the ball on the 25, and that leads to the first of their field goals. So congratulations to them.
They're just Olin. They're just playing hard, man. That we talked about turnovers. They just come they're just playing hard. He's playing hard. He's playing better. He seems like the last couple of weeks he's turned up his game a little bit, and maybe he's hearing some of the fans or us talk about where has he been? Where's that Tez effect? But it's starting to come back, and it's good to see. But it seems like the entire defense, like I said earlier, has turned it up a notch or two, and it seems like it's contagious, and it's good to see.
Yeah, 15 in 4 games. Yes, they have turned it up. and Pat, you said 2 or 3 weeks ago, takeaways come in bunches, and man, there's like 3 bunches now.
Yeah,
right?
what is more than bunches?
Yeah, what is more? So, but we talked about in the pregame how that is just speeding the offense up, right? Making them play faster than they want to, making them do things they don't want to do. And what they talked about on that play that we just listened to, coverage is so good. Yeah. Spencer Rattler got uncomfortable in the pocket, was holding onto the ball. Billings takes the left guard Penning, bull rushes him back, makes Rattler step up in the pocket, and he's holding the ball out there like a loaf of bread for whatever reason. And Montez Sweat, with his hustle, comes through for a second week in a row. Last week was a running back, punches the ball out, and Javon Dexter jumps on the ball, and it's Bears 1st and 10. Again, just like the Cowboys game, right? 1st and 10 after a takeaway. Here we go. I think the same thing happened in the Raiders game. It just these things keep happening for the Bears, but eventually they're making their own luck by the way they're playing ball.
Were you a little bit alarmed at how slow the offense got started? In other words, they settled for a couple of field goals before they scored their first touchdown?
No, because it's kind of been like that, right? They've only been winning by 1 point, even though they've had all these takeaways, right? They haven't got a bunch of points off of turnovers, even though they did have 10 today early on, which gave them a lead and really helps them win this football game. If you go back and look at all the football games closely, again, we keep saying, okay, what kind of football team are we without these takeaways? What if we don't get the ball into our offensive hands? But it's not something we've had to worry about lately. And we talked about winning 4 games, but yes, Mully, you do worry about it. I'm not surprised by it because it's kind of like what they've been doing, Pat, through their last 3 or 4 games.
Yeah, you look at their first 2 series. I'm going back here. The first series was a 3-and-out. Theo jumped off sides, right? So that got them back to 3rd and 10 where they were 3rd and 5. Then, Olin, you talked about the sack or the fumble there. Then they had the snap issue. So these issues they're having, normally the bad teams, right, they wouldn't overcome these things. But Olin, like you said, the turnovers have helped. I mean, that's the big thing. That's the obvious thing. The reason why they're winning right now. The run game was very, very effective, but the turnovers right now on this 4-game win streak have been the biggest thing. And it would be nice to see them win 31-14, right? To go ahead and really put it away. They went up 20, right, but they gave up the 14 points. But to be able to capitalize on this, but that's a perfect game. I don't think they're there yet. They're not there yet, obviously, but maybe this is somewhere they are next year or 2 years down the road where we're talking about not just playoffs, but what high seed are they going to be in the playoffs? And that's what we're hoping they get to, and that's what the good teams do. They capitalize on all these turnovers and make it a little more of an impressive win.
Yeah, it was, one of these things where when they scored that touchdown before the half, and it came kind of out of nowhere. And, we know anybody who's ever watched any Ohio State football knows that Chris Olave is an excellent receiver. And so he converts and they get a touchdown there. And it seemed so easy, for lack of a better word. It seemed so kind of quick that it arrived and they got the point. You just worried going out of the first half that, they should be up more. They were pitching a shutout. It should have been more points, and they should have been easily out of that game. And I think after they scored that first touchdown of the second half, my feeling was, if they lose this game, it's a choke because they had this game under control. And yet they probably needed to just score more points off of the opportunities that they had.
Yeah, what's fun is, guys, we're critiquing this game and saying we want more.
Oh, yeah.
We got to win, but this is kind of fun. This is fun to do, and I'm sure this is the same. Well, I know it is. This is the same way that it'll be tomorrow morning when they get to Haugh Hall. There's some mistakes everywhere, but it's easier to coach that way. You can be a little harder on guys. They're not going to take it as personal, and you can maybe grow a little bit more. But there are some holes in this team that they need to get better, obviously. So we're gonna poke them as well, and you hope they can figure these things out. It's a long season, and maybe at the end of the year, we are talking about what seed the Bears will be in the playoffs, not if they'll make the playoffs.
Yeah, there's holes on this team. I didn't think they would go on a 4-game win streak this year. And here we are. Mm-hmm. They're on a 4-game win streak. And, yes, all that stuff we're talking about is true. And, they had to get a missed field goal today early, right? They had a missed 53-yard field goal. And they had to get a blocked field goal against the Raiders. Just all these things are happening right now. But that's preparation, right? You get your luck through preparation, man, meets opportunity. That's what they all say, right? And you see that for them working hard and making plays, and the repeatable stuff is showing up again. The run game, right? The run defense. They got that fixed right now. And that looks like it to be a big advantage for them. And the amazing thing to me about their run defense, guys, is they're playing the run that hard and still covering play action passes. They dropped one today, I think, with Jawan Johnson there, and they just dropped the tight end. But other than that, I mean, even on, a short yardage situations, if they keep the ball, everything is covered, right? On that Tremaine Edmonds interception, they're covering people and stopping the run. That's hard to do. That's hard to play that aggressive on the run and still be able to stop the pass. So that defense is fixed. I think through 3 or 4 weeks, they were the worst run defense in the league. And the last 2 games, they've looked like they've fixed that. Our run offense, man, where is our rush offense? Fixed it, right? So that kind of stuff, Pat and Mully, even though hopefully when you don't get the takeaways, hopefully that kind of stuff can carry your team and keep you in games where your quarterback can win the game at the end, is what we talked about when we started this year, early on, watching these guys play football.
Mm-hmm.
All right, we should remind everyone that next Sunday you can join the Score and Circa Sports Illinois at Timothy O'Toole's Pub in Gurnee. You will find the great Olin Kreutz and Patrick Manley and myself hosting our pregame show there from 9 to noon. And then we'll have immediate reaction on the postgame show immediately after the game ends. And that is when Chicago takes on Baltimore. That's next Sunday at Timothy O'Toole's in Gurnee, sponsored by Circa Sports Illinois. Sports betting the way it should be. And we will be right back on the football postgame show, presented by Timber Tech Decking and Railing and Atturo Tire on the Score.
The Bears win. Ben Johnson and the Bears make it 4 victories in a row, beating the Saints in front of the Soldier-Field faithful and improving to 4-2 on the season.
Rattler throws. It's deflected and intercepted by Edmonds. Tremaine Edmonds with the pick. The Bears take it away.
Stick around as all of our shows and Bears experts dissect the game from every angle and take you inside the locker room. Plus, we'll look ahead to their next matchup when they take on the Ravens on the road. Right here on Chicago's Sports Radio 670 The Score. Always live on the free Odyssey and iHeartRadio apps.
Introducing Remy Martin's This Is My City VSOP Limited Edition Collection, paying homage to the iconic sounds, style, and teams of our very own Chicago. The collection celebrates the city's influence on culture and features Remy Martin's renowned VSOP liquid. This limited edition bottle is available now, and you can learn more at RemyMartin.com. Remy Martin VSOP Cognac, 40% alcohol by volume, imported by Remy Cointreau, USA, New York, New York. Please drink responsibly.
Football season means it's time to start thinking about the roof on your business. Is it time to winterize? Make the right call. A game plan that includes the highly trained craftsmen and craftswomen of roofers and waterproofers, Local 11, to get the job done right. To find professionally trained roofing and waterproofing contractors who are dedicated to providing quality, value, and service, go to ChicagoRoofingContractors.org for all your roofing needs.
Dan owed an unbelievable sizable amount of money to the IRS.
I got behind on my taxes. It's a horrible feeling.
He was in denial.
And when I got those letters from the IRS, you wanted to act like they didn't exist.
Finally, Dan turned to Optima Tax Relief, the leading tax resolution firm. A-plus rated by the Better Business Bureau, they've resolved over $1 billion for their clients.
Optima got me a settlement with the IRS. These people are really people-friendly. It was every bit of a new lease on life for me.
The fast action and the great results made Dan's head spin.
I felt like I was in a dream, but it's real, and I have paperwork to prove it. They got the job done, and life is good.
For tax help you can trust, call Optima now for a free consultation.
If you're worried about what's going to happen with the IRS, stop worrying. Make the call now.
Call 800-756-6399. 800-756-6399. 800-756-6399.
Optima Tax Relief.
Testimonial from an actual client. Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance supervisor at a manufacturing facility, he knows keeping the line up and running is a top priority. That's why he chooses Grainger. Because when a drive belt gets damaged, Grainger makes it easy to find the exact specs for the replacement product he needs. And next day delivery helps ensure he'll have everything in place and running like clockwork. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Every morning, we rise and shine, make breakfast, and brush away the night's rest. These routines help us start the day off right. Nature-Made vitamins are a simple step in that daily care regimen. Multivitamins with daily essentials, clinically studied probiotics for gut health support, magnesium to help relax the body. Nature-Made is made to care for you every day. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. These products are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
Hey, football fans, picture this. You bet on your favorite player to score the first touchdown in the game, but his teammate scores instead. If this happens, BetMGM wants to give you another chance at the end zone. With BetMGM's second chance promotion, you'll get your stake back if your first touchdown scorer scores second instead. That's right. Bet on any pro football player to score the first touchdown of a game. If you're right, you win. If your player scores second, you get your stake back in cash. With BetMGM's second chance offer, you have a chance to keep the fun going after the first player crosses the goal line. Try a first TD score wager with confidence today. BetMGM. Make it legendary. BetMGM and GameSense remind you to play responsibly. See BetMGM.com for terms. 21 plus only. Illinois only. Existing customer offer. Subject to eligibility requirements. Rewards paid back in unrestricted withdrawable funds. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER 426-2537 or by texting ILGAMB to 53342 in partnership with Paradise Hotel Casino.
The Bears move to 4-2 after beating the Saints. Keep it here as the Score team breaks down the game. Plus, we'll have your reaction too, right here on Chicago's Sports Radio 670 The Score. Broadcasting live from the Hyundai Studios. Presented to you in part by your local Hyundai dealers. WSCR Chicago, WBMX HD2 Chicago, and Odyssey Sports Station.
The Score!
So it's second and goal. Manungai to the end zone, and there's his first NFL touchdown.
This is really, really good. They timed the motion up well right here. You can feel you get a block there, but the big one, watch Drew Dahlman, the center, pull out. You know, number one is center pulling, but number two down on the goal line. A lot of times when you're down on that goal line, guys are just firing straight ahead to get penetration in it, and it's hard if you're a puller when you leave that spot. So this offensive line is really starting to get into a groove with what Ben Johnson is teaching them in the run game.
Welcome back to the football postgame show presented by TimberTech Decking and Railing and Arturo Tire. That is the Who's Hot and Who's Cold segment. We're going to give the Who's Hot to Kyle Manungai with his 13 carries for 81 yards. Obviously, DeAndre Swift was excellent in the game, but he won the award last week. Let's throw something to the rookie, the 7th-round pick, Kyle Manungai. He also caught a pass for 13 yards, so congratulations to him on his first NFL touchdown. We should let you know that the Who's Hot and Who's Cold is sponsored by Plumbers 911. Plumbing emergency, call the professionals, available 24/7 at 1-833-PLUM. 911. Who's cold? This is a tough one, but we gave it to Caleb Williams. He was 15 of 26 for 172 yards, and he had an interception. No touchdowns, but an interception. And, Olin, you pointed out how much his presence helped in the run game, but he wasn't as good as he has been, and he had 4 carries for -2 yards as well. Only sacked once, and he escaped a bunch, but he's the cold player after that game. That's kind of mean, but who had a bad game? Anybody better for the cold player?
No, I think it's a good pick.
Yeah.
I think we expect more out of the number one pick in the draft, and we talked about having huge expectations for a guy like Caleb Williams, and I think he would agree that today he was cold and the pass game was a little off and wasn't taking advantage of some plays that were there. And obviously it's hard to see. We don't have the sideline view. You can't see the quarterback's view, but they did seem a little off there, and some of the throws were coming out really quick before the receivers hit their break, and some of them were amazing. Like when he hit DJ Moore there, I forget what quarter that was, but DJ didn't even turn his head. When he turned his head, the ball was in his hand. So some of those plays just seemed like the offense was a little off today, and just not the run game, right, with all the penalties. And I think even Coach Ben Johnson said it coming out of half to the sideline reporter that they had to get the pass game in a rhythm, and they want more out of it.
Let's get to Randy. Randy is listening. Oh, we lost Randy. Let's listen. Let's take Don. Don is in Dallas. He's listening in football country. Hey, Don.
Hey, guys. A good win for the Bears. I think you all pretty much covered all my comments. I do agree that Caleb was cold today. I was expecting a few more yards passing, a better completion percentage, but a great win anyway.
Yeah, it was a great win for the Bears, no doubt about it. And let's get to Paul. He is in Buffalo Grove. Hey, Paul. Oh, we lost Paul. That's my fault. Mike's in Rockford. Hey, Mike. Oh, we lost Tim. Thurgood's on the south side. He's a great listener. He's got to be there. Hey, Thurgood.
Gentlemen, I'm here.
There you go.
Fantastic. Celebrating the Bear win, but to be a great team, a great organization, you must critique yourself. I pose the following question respectfully. How do you lead the league in sacks allowed last year and fail to draft a left offensive tackle? I applaud the gentleman who has come in and performed well, but it's absurd that you would draft a tight end, Mr. Loveland, and at the 12th pick, you could have gotten Tyler Booker from Alabama, who played offensive guard and left tackle. 3-4 other tackles were drafted in the first round. Kansas City got their starting left offensive tackle, Josh Simmons, for some school called Ohio State. How did we have a guy, Braxton Jones, from not Utah State, someplace called South Utah State, out of the 6th round? And bizarre, again, just an observation, this team, the year before Fields gets there, we led the league in sacks. In the last 2 years, we've been toward the bottom of sacks allowed. And so how does the general manager, how does he ignore
Ryan Poles?
How does he ignore the offensive line? It's absurd on its face. So I'm prayerful. I have come out of the bunker. I'm watching Bear games again, but deeply, deeply, deeply disturbed by the evaluation and of the management in terms of draft picks.
Thank you, Thurgood. I think you've been reading Olin's notes.
That's what I was going to say. Who was that?
No, when he went through not Utah State, somewhere called. Pat, that sounded like a locker room joke, right?
Yes,
that sounded like somebody was saying in a locker room. Obviously, you guys know my thoughts on this, and I don't think any of us have buried our head in our sand and doesn't think that this problem is going to rear its head once again as this season goes on. You just watch the film or you watch the tape from today, and you can see some of it already, right? Where the tackle is getting beat, and they're going to have to give him help and figure out ways to kind of help and or hide that position, right? So Could be interesting, Pat. I don't know as the year goes on here, but they found a way to win 4 games, and when it rears its head, we'll talk about that again. And if I had to guess, it will rear its head again. That left tackle is kind of a glaring spot right now for the Chicago Bears.
Yeah, 100%. But also, will he get better? But I think his ceiling is pretty low, so you're going to have to deal with that, right? And I think you're seeing a lot of the boots to the right with Caleb. That's a free play that he doesn't really have to block anybody. So that's kind of scheming for him to help him throughout the game. I know as a left tackle, if I ever heard boot right, I was excited because all I had to do was run to the opposite sideline and influence the defensive end. So that's scheming up for him and helping him. And that is to Caleb's strength, roll into the right, and helps him out. But maybe he gets better. But, yeah, for sure, you want a better left tackle. Maybe that's next year. Maybe they fill that hole next year. But we'll see what the genius Ben Johnson does to help him out.
Mm-hmm. And it's interesting, right, because as the NFL season goes on, I always thought the hardest thing was when you put yourself on film. And you put what you are on film, and you put your tendencies on film, and you put the way to beat you on film. And today, Chase Young, who's a big guy, right? Not the pass rusher everybody thought he was going to be coming out of Ohio school called Ohio State, but the pass rusher. Anyway, a very good, big guy on the edge. And, even last week, a few times with Frankie Louvu, Theo does that guy into his chest, and he gets run back into the quarterback. You saw that today when Caleb had to scramble and spin out and do all those things. So, like you said, Pat, Coach Rochard will get film on him. They'll do a lot of work. Theo looks to me like a guy, when I watch him, that he is willing to improve. He's willing to work on what he needs to work on to keep his stance closed as long as he can, so they can't get to his chest, and not to turn too early, and keep that foot pointing down the field and get back on a vertical line, all the things that they talk about in pass pro. But with our division and the guys we got coming, it's going to be a tough road. It's going to be tough on that tackle to get that job done, especially when he's on the road, say in Green Bay, in Minnesota. Wow. Those kind of games are going to be tough.
No doubt about it. We mentioned the genius that is Ben Johnson. How would you like to hear from him? We have his post-game comments. We can listen to that right now.
So in terms of injuries there, I think we had 2 guys that didn't make it out of that one, and that was Tyreek. He had a shoulder, and Cole had a back. So we'll see where they're at tomorrow. I think this game really started and finished there with our defense. They just did a phenomenal job throughout. When you look at those critical numbers, it was 44 yards rushing. I saw 4 sacks and 4 turnovers, and I just thought, credit to Dennis Allen and his crew one more time. They're doing a great job getting us the ball on offense with great field position, and it certainly gives us a ton of momentum in games like that. And so they just did an awesome job. Offensively, the 200 yards rushing, I think both ball carriers ran physical, ran violent, but huge credit to our offensive line and the tight ends in that core blocking unit, because you could feel that line of scrimmage move at times, and our backs were finding the holes. So that was really the name of the game there. A lot that we can clean up and we can improve. That's always a good thing. We'll coach these guys hard, and we'll turn our page onto Baltimore soon after this. Open it up.
With the running game, how satisfying is it to have come out of the bye week with answers and found something there that's giving you some more?
Yeah, no, I think we've been pretty consistent with that message, that it was just going to take a little bit of time to get our O-line on the same page and feel good about their fits and their combinations, and I think that's starting to come together. You accumulate the reps over the course of camp and through these first 5 games going into the 6th one here, and I think you really see it start to come to life a little bit. So credit to them. I feel really good. They're really well coached. Dan Rochard, Kyle Devan, they do phenomenal jobs, and they've been very consistent with that crew. It's a prideful group. Obviously, they want to protect the quarterback in the passing game, and they want to be able to run for 200 every week in the running game. So really proud of what that looked like today.
You had several red zone trips today that didn't result in touchdowns and field goals. What do you think was the problem that prevented you all from getting those 7 points instead of the?
We'll have to take a look at it. I can't tell you off the top of my head.
Coach, these turnovers is consistent. It's weekly now. It's not like just some once in a while type of thing. What do you most contribute to how the defense is taking the ball there?
Yeah, I think they come in bunches, and these guys, we got a method in place of how we want to practice it. Dennis does a great job with instilling that confidence in those guys, putting them in the right spot. When the ball touches their hands, they're coming down with it. We really don't have many drops on that side of the ball. They're very conscious of it when it's a running play to try to punch at that ball and get it out. And so, it's just really working for us right now. And really, our team needs it. I mean, it's really been the foundation of this last 4-game stretch for us.
And Deshaun's takeaway seemed to be the spark early for you. What did you see both on the interception and then the return that obviously gave you good
Which one?
Deshaun's.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, it was a great catch. And then we've really been emphasizing, because we've been getting all these, is how do we turn these into whether it's in scoring range or getting in the end zone ourselves on defense. And so all of our guys are taking a ton of pride in getting connected after an interception like that and looking to make key blocks so that we can extend that. I thought Shawnee hopped on up and was really, I thought he was going to go down once or twice, and he just kept on going. So you might have to give him the ball a little bit on offense as well.
And you talked about the discipline, the details, the things you want to clean up, and striking that balance of doing that, what's your message to the team afterwards in terms of looking ahead and getting those things right?
Yeah, I think that's the benefit of when you win. You can usually coach a little bit harder, and so we're always truth tellers on Monday in particular. And when it's good, we'll tell them when it's good. When it's bad, we'll tell them what we got to clean up. And so there's a number of things there today that we can get better at.
You see a little reversion, following up to that question, in terms of some of the sloppiness overall?
Say it again.
Some of the sloppiness, did you see a little bit of reverting back to some of the issues that you guys?
No, I would say I was hopeful that Game 6 we would play cleaner football than that.
Any sense of what happened on the 4th and goal? There was a missed exchange, but then there was a false start.
Yeah, they blew it dead, false start, so moved us back and ended up kicking.
Do you know what happened with Caleb and Drew there?
No.
Coach, it was just the 2 drives for the defense wrapped around halftime. They kind of let some things get away. How disappointing was that when you guys were dominating the game and looking to go into halftime?
Yeah, I mean, I put the before half on us offensively as much as giving up that big play on defense. We had that 3 and out. We had control of possessing that ball before halftime, and we didn't do a good enough job. I think that's 2 weeks in a row there. We've had a 3 and out before halftime. Something that we practice, something that we really stress, and we're not getting the job done there. So we put the defense in a bad spot. I thought we limited their explosives throughout that day, except for the one before halftime that resulted in points for them. So, and then out of halftime, I thought we had some chances, and we just couldn't stop them. But beyond those 2 drives, I thought the defense played some of the best ball we played all year.
You guys took the ball to start the game, so they got it back after the half. You guys been getting out pretty early in these first quarters, and the Saints were struggling defensively in the first quarter coming into this game. Was that kind of the thinking? It didn't really play out that way. Was that the thinking when you took the ball?
No, it's weather related. It's a windy day, so I want to be able to control in the second half which way we're going.
How do you view the overall trajectory offensively through 6 games now?
Yeah, up and down. So that's what we've looked like. We haven't hit our stride yet offensively. We're capable of a lot more. We have very talented individuals. I feel strongly in our coaching staff, but we're not complimenting our defense on a regular basis. With the number of turnovers we've had over the last 4 games, we should be able to turn those into more points.
What has to click? What are you seeing that if this clicks, it'll level out? It'll be a lot smoother?
Yeah, I think it's a lot of things, and so that's something we'll look at on the tape and see what we got to clean up. We still have the false starts. The good thing was the running game was working. The passing game wasn't nearly efficient enough for us here today.
And Dennis downplayed the significance of facing his former team today. But from your perspective, what's your appreciation for 4 turnovers, the defense doing what it did, and Dennis's unit being part of the win?
Yeah, I mean, he certainly led the charge there. We don't win that game if they don't play that well. They just did an outstanding job, and I kind of felt it over the course of the week there with the 2 practices that we were able to get in that schematically he had some really good thoughts that we're going to put some stress there on the offense, and I thought that the defense they knew where to be, they knew what they were looking for, and it was huge.
then before seeing the tape, how do you sense that Caleb played just from experience out there?
Yeah, hard to say off the cuff. You just go off the numbers and like I said, we weren't efficient enough in the passing game. So we'll see why that was.
Go ahead, Jason. When you see him scrambling around quite a bit in the pocket, is that what you want him doing in those situations, those 10 to 12 second plays, or do you need something more decisive, quicker than that?
No, we design a play to work through the progression, and if he feels pressured, then that's when he looks to move on from there. And so, I'll go back, I'll look at that. I don't feel like we've had a ton of those up until today. I know we had maybe 2 or 3 more of those today than what I've normally felt. So we'll see what was the reason why and what can we do better. But, the broken down plays in general through 6 games, I don't think it's given us the yardage that we would like.
Had a pretty significant challenge that you won there. What was the process of, getting to the point of dropping that play?
Yeah, we got a good replay booth upstairs, and so they're getting footage, and it looked really, really close. We felt like it was close enough to be forward from the couple of angles that we got. Really good communication on the headset with that, and the fact that their offense wasn't going super fast gave us plenty of time to make sure we were exhausting all avenues.
And we've talked about DeAndre in recent weeks. As a coach, how satisfying is it for you to see a guy like that be rewarded for kind of his head-down effort that he gives you all the time?
Yeah, I think that's all of our guys. You just keep going back to work. When things go your way, you go back to work. When things are hard, you go back to work. That's really the answer for everything, and that's what we're going to continue to do as a team. But to your point, Swifty has done a great job here these last 2 weeks. We're at the point of the season now where no one feels 100% anymore, and that's what it's going to be the rest of the way. None of those guys feel great. Their bodies don't feel good. And yet you still show up and you find a way to be there for your teammate next to you. And Swifty certainly exemplifies that.
And was Grady Jarrett close today, or what went into that decision?
We'll see. We got him back there in practice. That was Friday, right? And so, we'll see what it looks like next week in terms of his availability for next Sunday.
But why not today?
Because he wasn't ready.
All right, that is Ben Johnson in the post game. Good stuff from him. We will we'll comment upon it when we come back from the break. We know we have a lot of people waiting to check in, and we'll get to your phone calls, and we'll get a reaction to what Ben Johnson had to say when we return. You're listening to the Football Postgame Show presented by TimberTech Decking and Railing and a Turo Tire on the Score.
Hey, Chicago football fans, coming up next Sunday as Chicago takes on Baltimore, The Score and Circa Sports Illinois invite you to join Olin Kreutz, Patrick Manley, and Mully from the Mully and Haugh Show.
Hey, we'll be live at Timothy O'Toole's Pub in Gurnee starting at 9 a.m. for The Score's pregame show. And when the game ends, stick around for our football postgame show for instant reaction to the game.
Sponsored by Circa Sports Illinois. Sports betting the way it should be.
This hour is brought to you by Vasectomy Clinics of Chicago.
What defines tough? It's a brain tumor that steals your control, but never your courage. What defines tough? It's a surgeon, steady and exact, navigating neural pathways, removing a mass to restore fine muscle control. What defines tough? At Loyola Medicine, it's more than what we do. It's who we are. Visit loyolamedicine.org/tough to learn more.
Hey Chicago fans, Patrick Manley here. It's time to kick off your deck project with TimberTech, a real decking all-star. TimberTech is the #1 brand in premium decking. It delivers real wood looks without the hassle of costly maintenance, and it will never rot, warp, splinter, or peel. Plus, with industry-leading warranties, you know your deck will perform at the top of its game season after season. Discover why TimberTech is Chicago's MVP of decking and railing. Order free samples at timbertech.com.
Hey, Chicago, it's David Haugh from The Score here, and you know I'm all about staying connected no matter what, and nobody does it like Verizon. I'm talking about the best 5G in Chicago, and with Verizon, everything just works. Need to check traffic before your commute? Boom, instantly. Trying to snag that impossible dinner reservation? Consider it done. This isn't just fast, it's America's most reliable 5G network, keeping you connected to what matters most. And get this, right now, when you bring your own phone and switch to Verizon on Unlimited Welcome with AutoPay Plus, taxes and fees, you can get a single line for just $50 a month. You heard that right. The best 5G in Chicago for just $50 a month. So if you're ready to experience the difference with the best 5G network around, stop by your nearest Chicago Verizon store today. $20 monthly promo credits applied over 36 months with a new line on Unlimited Welcome. In times of congestion, unlimited 5G and 4G LTE may be temporarily slower than other traffic. Domestic data roaming at 2G speed. Rankings based on Root Metrics Root Score. Report dated 2H 2024. Your results may vary. Additional terms apply.
Hey, football fans, picture this. You bet on your favorite player to score the first touchdown in the game, but his teammate scores instead. If this happens, BetMGM wants to give you another chance at the end zone. With BetMGM's second chance promotion, you'll get your stake back if your first touchdown scorer scores second instead. That's right. Bet on any pro football player to score the first touchdown of a game. If you're right, you win. If your player scores second, you get your stake back in cash. With BetMGM's second chance offer, you have a chance to keep the fun going after the first player crosses the goal line. Try a first TD score wager with confidence today. BetMGM. Make it legendary. BetMGM and GameSense remind you to play responsibly. See BetMGM.com for terms. 21 plus only. Illinois only. Existing customer offer. Subject to eligibility requirements. Rewards paid back in unrestricted withdrawable funds. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER 426-2537 or by texting ILGAMB to 53342 in partnership with Paradise Hotel Casino.
Morning, Zoe. Got donuts.
Jeff Bridges, why are you still living above our garage?
Well, I dig the mattress, and I want to be in a T-Mobile commercial like you. Teach me, Saldana.
Oh, no, I'm not really prepared. I couldn't possibly. At T-Mobile, get the new iPhone 17 Pro on them. It's designed to be the most powerful iPhone yet and has the ultimate pro camera system.
Wow, impressive. Let me try. T-Mobile is the best place to get iPhone 17 Pro because they've got the best network.
Nice, Jeffrey.
You heard them. T-Mobile is the best place to get the new iPhone 17 Pro on us with eligible trade-in in any condition.
So, what are we having for lunch?
Dude, my work here is done.
The 24 monthly bill credits on Experience Beyond for well-qualified customers plus tax and $35 device connection charge. Credits end and balance due if you pay off earlier. Cancel. Finance agreement iPhone 17 Pro 256 gigs, $1,099.99 and new line minimum $100 plus a month plan with autopay plus taxes and fees required. Best mobile network in the U.S. based on analysis by Ookla Speed Test Intelligence data 1H2025. Visit T-Mobile.com.
670 The Score is home to your game day pregame coverage. Join us before each game for the latest inside scoop on your home team before they take on their next opponent. Football Fridays is brought to you in part by your local Ford dealers. Visit a store today.
Gets away from Sweat. Directed traffic. Wants to throw downfield. He's got Shaheed out there, and instead it's intercepted by Kevin Byard. His fourth pick of the year. Spencer Rattler saw Rashid Shaheed running free, but he missed it. Byard there to secure it, and the turnover for Chicago.
Welcome back to the football postgame show presented by TimberTech Decking and Railing and Arturo Tire. And that indeed was one of the four takeaways for the Chicago Bears. And Kevin Byard, earlier in the year you kind of worried a little bit that where was he at physically. Well, he's mentally strong, and to get four takeaways in this stretch is very impressive.
And he could have had another one.
Yep.
If Nahshon Wright didn't hit him. That would have been,
right.
That would have been right in his chest.
Hands.
Yeah,
Yep.
I mean, he was
Yep.
there to make the play. So he's having an impressive year. He was a guy, Olin, as we get older, right, you wonder when that cliff happens, when you start falling off the cliff. And I thought maybe he was getting there, but not this year. He's playing pretty well through the first 6 games. I mean, with 4 takeaways, that's pretty great. But he's playing well back there and not showing too many signs of age.
No, and it's good when you surround him with young football players, right, like Brisker and Tyreek Stevenson and Nahshon Wright, where they can be the athletic ones and he can align guys up and point out good cues and tips and things that he sees. And that's the way when you get older, you raise the level of guys around you. I think where teams get in trouble is they ask those older guys to do the things they did in their 6th, 7th, 8th year. Well, as you get older, you start to lose that little athletic ability. Have the other guys do that, but they can still provide value and make really smart football plays like he's made against, the Raiders. Yep. They're robbing on Geno Smith or the interception where he sees the quarterback point, sees the wide receiver turn and run, Shaheed, and he runs down there, knows exactly what that quarterback wants to do, and intercepts the ball, right? I thought it was interesting, Pat, when Ben Johnson talked about we also want, when we get the ball on defense, to try and score, right? I remember Alex and Briggs telling me that they always wanted to get to the numbers, right? Everyone got to the numbers. That was kind of the whole, where everybody would go to the numbers and run down the numbers there. So as they try to do that, Nahshon Wright looked like almost he was trying to get to the numbers and he got outside of it. But very interesting to hear him say, yes, we do want to score on offense, but also have our defense guys, when they intercept that ball or they get a fumble, get up and run that thing to the end zone, because I remember we used to score that damn ball, man, put that thing in the end zone, which, Lovey and that defense was so good at.
Yeah, it's a great point. And Mike Brown had back-to-back games with interceptions that he scored on. And I just remember that the rule was always you run down the sideline you're closest to, and his trick was always to go to the center of the field and then find his way back to where he could pick up his blocks.
All-state running back. He was an all-state running back in Arizona.
Tremendous.
I mean, that guy was all-world. I mean, that guy was a different one, right? You let him do whatever he wants.
Yeah. And that was under the great Greg Blotch, right? That defense, they were very good also. But like we said, we've seen this story before in Chicago with the takeaways in the run game and the physical style of football that they're playing. But the thing that excites you a little bit is that your head coach is actually a play caller, right?
Yes.
He's actually an offensive guy who, obviously we've seen that under Nagy and Fangio, but now you also have a quarterback who is, he's dangerous. His arm is dangerous. He can't roll around. He can't throw the ball. So as Ben Johnson said there in the post-game press conference, look, we're nowhere where we need to be. We're nowhere we want to be. And we're talking about in the pregame show how now you can coach guys harder after a win. And he said that, and he echoed what Pat said, that these takeaways come in bunches, right? And using the same words, but also like what he's saying is, look, we're going to coach them hard come Monday and get corrections, and you're going to need to. You're right with Baltimore, and now the Bengals having Joe Flacco and Baltimore getting healthy after a bye week, and a lot of big games coming up. But you're going to need your quarterback and your pass offense to be more dynamic and get things out of them. But now guys are worried about your run game now, which is interesting going into these games.
And what I found, there was two things I found interesting in that press conference. And what you're talking about there is you can coach harder. And he said, we're truth tellers. I love that.
Yes.
I mean, it's true. I mean, you hear it from his assistant coaches. We talked about it in the pregame of how they seem like they all have the same message. He frees them up to be truth tellers, to just say what they're coaching, what they're seeing, not trying to sugarcoat it or hide it. And that must be exactly what they're telling the guys in the building. And that's how you set that standard. You let them know what's expected of them and just be a truth teller. I thought that's a great way to put it. Another thing that might slide underneath the radar there, guys, when he talked about why they took the ball first. It's because he wanted to be in control of the weather in the second half.
Right.
That is details. That is coaching right there. That's understanding these games come down to the fourth quarter, no matter if you're up 20-7 or whatever, 20-7, or if you can be up 20-7 at the half, that it comes down to the fourth quarters and you're in charge of which way you're going with the ball to win the game, whether it's a field goal or touchdown or whatever you need. That is impressive. To me, guys, I don't think a lot of head coaches think that way. I don't remember a lot of our head coaches thinking that way. I think we saw Marty Morningweg take that for the Detroit Lions and think it was going to work in overtime. But this is a full game saying, okay, it's going to come down to the fourth quarter, and me being with my offense, I'm going to be in control of the weather and what direction we're going to go in. I thought that was a slick answer and a pretty impressive thought and a way to go about the game and coaching.
And he gave his description of his process, too, in challenging, right? And we talk about being a truth teller and telling the players the truth. It seems like the coaches don't mind telling themselves the truth either, right? We had problems, I think, when Noah Sewell punched, we thought, okay, the guy's knee was down, but he punched the ball and he challenged it immediately, right? And so now maybe even his process has gotten a little better. And something that's really important about all that is, okay, you can be a truth teller, but it can't be your personal truth that makes you feel good about yourself. Right? It has to be the real truth, what's actually on film. And it seems like, again, just in this early part of the year where they had 2 tough games and won 4 in a row, it seems like they are pinpointing what the real problems are, right? And we've gone after the statistics guys in the Bears building. Well, they've done a nice job too, right? And they got a leader now who organizes things, tells guys who their jobs are, and then, okay, we'll talk to these guys. And he even, he probably didn't mean to. It's just the way he is. Took a shot at the Saints and said, look, they didn't want to rush the line of scrimmage, so we had all this time in the world to look at the play, right? And that's them on their side, not doing what they're supposed to be doing. So learning from everything that they've gone through, if you go through those first 2-3 games and watch what the Bears are now, man, they've taken big jumps on stuff that they were supposed to improve on. They have improved on, which is pretty interesting to watch.
I also like the fact he pointed the finger at himself about the points before the half.
Yes.
Saying offensively, we went 3 and out. That's 2 games in a row, and he knows the stats. Like, hey, that's my fault. I shouldn't be putting the defense back out there. It's just refreshing to hear. It's refreshing to people taking accountability for what they're doing. And it's also neat to hear him talk about Dennis Allen's defense, offense, but they're all together working together. And I'm also excited for one day when he gets to open up the press conference and deflect all the praise and accolades that they put up 50 points instead of having to talk about turnovers and Dennis Allen. But I do love how he does that, and he does deserve all the credit for that. But I'm also excited for a game where we talk about Ben Johnson scoring 42 points, 44 points or whatever, and it's all about him. But it's just nice to hear the way the communication is going back and forth between coaches to coaches, coaches to players, all around that team right now.
He said specifically that they wouldn't have won the game without the defense. He said the defense played some of the best football they've played all year, and he said that we haven't hit our stride yet, and we're not complimenting that defense. And that's true. They are not scoring as many points as that field position and that the takeaways and the domination would indicate they're capable of doing, right? They're getting the ball in plus positions and settling for a field goal. That's got to hurt him.
Yeah. There's no doubt about it. That again, it's refreshing to it's just really refreshing to hear this. I mean, we haven't had this for a while for the last few head coaches. I know winning helps everything, but it is refreshing to be this honest and open, to understand that the process of what's going on, what needs to be worked on, and what's going well.
These combo blocks, man, the Chicago Bears O-line, they are running guys off the ball. It is fun to watch. And listen, as far as the defense goes, that first half, Mully, before those 2 drives, that's as good as I've seen in a long time, man. They were suffocating, in a word. They were suffocating the New Orleans Saints out there. They were getting after them. I don't know. I'd have to go back and look when Tyreek actually went out. I wonder if that coincides and when the defense started giving those big plays up. But, Ben Johnson is saying, like you're saying, Pat and Mully, he's saying all the right things, right? He seems like he knows. And I think that the thing that I like the most is the things he says, and it doesn't mean we're always right either, but it seems like, that's common sense, what you guys got to get fixed. That is actually what's going on. Yeah. It's not like they say something on a podium, you're like, the hell is he talking about? Like, that's not what's wrong with your team. Like that would happen before with former coaches. This staff doesn't seem that way. It's early in their run, and sometimes people get a little, crazy there up at Hallis Hall, but it doesn't seem that way right now.
There's accountability. There is taking it on. Hey, we didn't do this. We got to do this better. There's an understanding of how you go about winning in the NFL, and when his group isn't doing it the way he wants, he's not afraid to admit it, and that's a reflection on him as well.
It's not like, Pat. It's not like, everyone's saying this is what you guys aren't doing. It's like, no, we're not. Like, I'm way smarter than you guys, and that's not actually true. It's like, no, that's true. Like, what everyone's saying is wrong with the team. We're not scoring enough points on takeaways. We're getting a ton of takeaways. They do come in bunches, and everything he's saying is like, that's a really clear-eyed view on what you guys are.
Right. Yes. Right. And he said it. He said, the turnovers have been their foundation. And I guarantee you that's not what he wants the foundation to be. He is an offensive head coach, he wants the foundation to be that offense where they're outscoring people and it don't have to really worry about turnovers or takeaways or whatever you want to call them. That I would just think that's what he wants, but he's living off it right now, and we'll see how long these whatever more of bunches of turnovers is.
Right, and to your point, it's like, we all are wondering. Nobody wants to say we all want to enjoy this 4-game run that we haven't seen since 2018, and just want to win football games and ignore everything with their hands over our eyes. But he's saying, look, man, I don't know if this can continue with the way we're playing without the takeaways. And Pat, I think you use the word refreshing. It is refreshing to hear him say that.
Yes.
Right, because that's the same thing I'm wondering about when I'm watching film. Right, how are you only winning by 1 point? How are we even in a game with all these takeaways versus the New Orleans Saints? Yep. Right, so those are things and it's good to hear that they're looking at those too, because I tell you what, they fixed the run game and they fixed the run defense. So now I'm like, oh, maybe they'll fix other things too as we go along here.
Yep.
It's a great point. We've got a lot of people who are still waiting for us. We should get back to the phone lines, and I believe next up would be I'm going down the list here. It's Dave from Slinger, Wisconsin. Hey, Dave. Thanks for waiting.
How you doing?
Good.
How you doing? I'm glad about this win today, but the only one thing we got to do is avoid injuries, and hopefully that we can go a long ways. And the good news is the Vikings got beat.
Yeah, they did. They lost too. Yeah. It's interesting, Dave, you say that, because he talked about everybody's hurt. I mean, he didn't have any problem admitting what everybody knows that follows the league. I mean, it is a vicious, tough sport. You come off the bye week, you win a game, you got a short week. I'm sure they have a lot of people that are really banged up right now.
I'd like to come back and get onto the top on the NFC North. I really want to.
Yeah, I think the Bears would like to too. That would be great.
And you got Green Bay losing right now 6-3 to Arizona, but I don't know if that'll withhold, but you never know.
Take the NFC North and never give it back. I heard that somewhere.
There we go. It's starting.
Right? Yeah, it's starting, man. I mean, listen, it's been exciting to watch this team do this last 4 weeks, get better, go from the worst rush defense to very, very good, stop the run, and then find a way to run the ball. And now, hear a coach that just fixed those things, the coaching staff, right? Fix those things, say, look, we got to be better in passing the ball. We got to be better on pass offense, and we got to also worry about when the turnovers aren't our foundation. So pretty excited to see this team keep moving forward, get healthy, get iced up, get some pain management in, right? Iced tub, hot tub, stretch out and get that back co-commit, and let's keep this thing rolling.
Yep.
Let's try Jim. He's in Columbus. Hey, Jim.
Hey, guys, just got through watching the game with the Columbus, Ohio Bears backers, and obviously we had a pretty good time today. And just wondering, we talked a lot about Ben Johnson and what he's been able to do and the type of a coach he is. I remember hearing Grody talking about, in preseason training camp, stopping plays, getting on guys for not getting out of the huddle right and all that stuff. And, so obviously he's got a plan. He knows what he wants, and he's particular about that. My question is, having coaches that are willing to show exactly that same sort of demand from the players, you guys have played. I mean, how difficult is it for a head coach to coach the coaches and hold them accountable so that these things are being done every day?
Thanks, Jim.
It's a great question, right? Because we talk a lot about how important coaching is in the NFL, and to find really good coaches is hard. And to collect a staff is even harder, and get those guys moving in the right direction. And have coaches, talk about players take coaching. My goodness, have a coach take coaching. That is now when you're a head coach who does that, that's coaching, right? That is leading guys. And then, like he said, Dennis Allen has been a godsend. When I hear that, Mully and Pat, I think to myself, well, because maybe he doesn't have to coach him. Mm-hmm. He knows what it takes, and he's helping him coach his coaches. He's helping everybody move in the right direction, because Pat, I don't, you had Dave Tobe, you had all these guys that very, very good run. We had, Ron Rivera, very good football coach. Rob Marinelli, right? We could go down the list. Yep. Harry Heastan, Ron Turner, when we were winning. They just had a bunch of guys in that building and knew how to coach and knew how to win. And the things that this caller is talking about, a lot of people say, like, what the hell he's talking about? But he makes a great point, right? That coaches, he's getting on the coaches, teaching everybody headed in the right direction, and winning sets everybody on the right path. And everybody's like, okay, these things we're talking about here, they're working. Because let me tell you something, Mully, and I'm sure you know this because you were media too. The first people who leak out of a building when you start losing, the first people who jump off the ship, those are the coaches.
Mm-hmm. And Olin, back to the coaches of Harry Heastan and Dave Tobe. They were young coaches when we had them, right? They weren't at the top of their game then. They knew that. They got better each week, and they were willing to point the finger at themselves and say, okay, I've got to get better. And you would see them work at it. And the next time they came with a game plan or a coaching point or whatever it was, they would have it right. And that's what coaches coaching each other and also coaches coaching themselves to understand how they've got to raise their level of coaching. And we saw it with two great ones there. Harry Heastan, one of the greatest O-line coaches ever. Dave Tobe, one of the greatest special teams coaches ever. We were with them when they were younger, and they got better, and they were willing to admit when they made mistakes, and they worked their tail off to be better coaches to make us better.
And Olin, Tony Wise was in town this week. I got a chance to talk to Tony for a little bit, and I said to him, like, he and Dave helped you get paid. Like, it's one of the great achievements of their careers is not just all the Super Bowls in Dallas, but helping make you a wealthy man.
Can't thank them enough, man. I think when I was pregame in Miami, I said, I feel like I owe you guys dinner or something, or some kind of owe you guys something for getting Jerry Angelo to move off his number. I remember being in negotiations with Jerry Angelo, and they paid R.W. McQuarters and Brian Robinson, may he rest in peace. And
right.
I was always yelling at Jerry, hey man, get my contract. You're paying everybody else. And Jerry flatly said, I don't think anybody will pay a center that much. And my agent Mark Bartelstein and Rick Smith at Priority Sports in Chicago said, Olin, just wait, somebody will. And I doubted them too. And when they called and told me what Miami offered, I almost fainted myself. So I thought Jerry, I couldn't believe what they offered me to play center. But yes, those guys they drafted me, got me paid in free agency. Those are two guys, and Tony Wise and Coach Watson have turned into actually really good friends now.
Yeah.
I remember.
And why wouldn't you like people who get you paid?
That's right.
Yeah, I remember years ago standing in the hallway, Olin, and you were walking out, and Cliff Stein, unfortunately, had come downstairs to get some lunch, and you tried to chase him back to this office to start working on your next contract. One of the funniest things I've ever seen.
I always wondered what they were doing, man, to work on my contract.
We need a post game after dark where it's like, a little, we can tell some other stories.
No, we don't.
My lips are sealed, man. My lips are sealed,
All right, we'll be right back for our final segment next. You're listening to the great post-game show from the wonderful, presented by TimberTech Decking and Railing and Atturo Tire here on The Score.
The Bears win. Ben Johnson and the Bears make it 4 victories in a row, beating the Saints in front of the Soldier Field faithful and improving to 4-2 on the season.
Rattler throws. It's deflected and intercepted by Edmonds. Tremaine Edmonds with the pick. The Bears take it away.
Stick around as all of our shows and Bears experts dissect the game from every angle and take you inside the locker room. Plus, we'll look ahead to their next matchup when they take on the Ravens on the road. Right here on Chicago's Sports Radio 670 The Score. Always live on the free Odyssey and iHeartRadio apps.
Hey, Chicagoland, get with a winning team. The all-new Toyota on Edens, one of Chicagoland's fastest-growing Toyota dealers. Score big savings on our fresh line of 300 new 2025 and now 2026 Toyotas. And servicing your current Toyota has never been more convenient with extended service hours, including Saturday service, plus Uber pickup and drop-off. The best way is right off the expressway at Toyota on Edens or ToyotaOnEdens.com.
Estwing, unmatched tools for tough jobs and outdoor adventures. These USA-made axes, splitting tools, and machete are built to last, crafted and fully forged by American workers for over a century. Estwing delivers reliable gear for hunting, camping, and splitting firewood at your home. Experience the power and quality of American craftsmanship. Available at leading sporting goods and hardware retailers. Estwing, made in the USA for over 100 years. Learn more at estwing.com.
Do you owe back taxes to the IRS? Whether it's due to job loss, a divorce, a new business venture, or you just didn't file your taxes, don't lose hope. Powerful relief programs are now available that can help you and may reduce or even eliminate what you owe the IRS. With the cost of living affecting millions across the country, Tax Relief Advocates is urgently notifying anyone with $5, $50, or even $500,000 in back taxes to the IRS to call to get relief options. With over 1,000 5-star Google reviews and an A+ rating from the Better Business Bureau, TRA is America's trusted choice for real tax relief. Relief options are now available that can give you a fresh start and peace of mind. End your tax nightmare today by calling our tax relief hotline. Dial 800-390-8432. 800-390-8432. That's 800-390-8432. Or visit TRA.com. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
The Chef IQ Sense is a must-have wireless cooking thermometer that eliminates under or overcooking your chicken, fish, or meat, whether on a stovetop, oven, or grill. It is built to withstand extreme heat. The probe is inserted into your food and connected wirelessly to an app. Once you've selected your desired doneness, the app alerts you when to take the steaks off the grill and even alerts you when to flip them. It's that simple. Order the newly released 3rd generation Chef IQ Sense, now with so many upgrades at chefiq.com. Enter the code word SCORE for 15% off your order.
Two men in a truck are on the line and ready to make a play.
That's right, Bob. In Chicago, we know tough hits. And when it's time to move, you call the pros.
From across town to across the city, Two Men in a Truck has the game plan to move your belongings safely. No fumbles, no penalties.
They'll tackle your boxes, block stress, and score big for customer satisfaction. So when the clock's ticking, don't punt. Call Two Men in a Truck.
For a free estimate, visit twomeninatruck.com. Two Men in a Truck. We're on the line.
I'm Piera Palazzolo, VP of Digital Marketing for the American Management Association, a company focused on the management training skills needed to enhance the careers of business professionals. We did our research when it came to the best companies for website development and chose AmericanEagle.com. And we couldn't be happier. AmericanEagle.com worked closely with us to understand the front and back end requirements needed to launch an e-commerce website that could handle the complexities of running thousands of seminars nationwide. Our robust new website and improved SEO saw immediate increases in site traffic and web revenue. If you're in need of managerial effectiveness and success, visit our website at amanet.org. If you're in need of a website that provides an unparalleled consumer experience, I highly recommend AmericanEagle.com.
Transform your business today. Dial 877-WEBNOW1 for a free digital consultation with AmericanEagle.com.
We're back with more of the Scores postgame show, presented by TimberTech Decking and Railing, #1 in premium decking. Order free samples at TimberTech.com and by Arturo Tire, Chicago's hometown tire. Find a dealer at Arturo.com on Chicago's Sports Radio 670 The Score. Always live on the free Odyssey and iHeartRadio apps.
Welcome back to the football postgame show presented by TimberTech Decking and Railing and Arturo Tire. We are, of course, featuring the great Olin Kreutz, perennial Pro Bowl player for the Bears, and Patrick Manley, longest-serving Bears player in history. 18 years, Pat? Is that what it was?
Sure. If anybody ever says over 16, I never correct them. So, yes, 18.
All right. That's a lot of years. I mean, that's a lot of time.
So I'm not going to correct you.
All right.
It was a long time.
It seems like a long time, especially, being, a guy earning over that length of time is probably pretty impressive.
Well, the way I put it, Mully, honestly, I participated in the games. Olin played in the games, so there's a different way to look at it.
Don't let him fool you, Mully. He was always working hard, and he was playing ball. Trust me.
He was great. He was a great one. We know that. And Olin, you were maybe one of the greatest leaders in the history of that team. And as much as we talk about, Lovey and that whole thing, what a joy for him to have a guy like Urlacher on defense and a guy like yourself on offense, sort of.
Mully, what do you need, man? Are you dying?
No, I'm still with you. I'm not.
You're going to be with us next week, right?
What's going on here?
We need you next week.
Are you leaving?
Goodbye, everybody. I will.
You're our leader.
Next Sunday, there we go again. You can join the Score and Circa Sports Illinois at Timothy O'Toole's Pub in Gurnee. You got Olin, you got Patrick, you got me, and our pregame show will be there from 9 to noon. Get there early, then you have immediate reaction on the postgame show after Chicago takes on Baltimore. That's next Sunday at Timothy O'Toole's in Gurnee, sponsored by Circa Sports Illinois, sports betting the way it should be. And I believe, guys, that Baltimore is on the bye this week. The Ravens having a very disappointing season. They've had a lot of injuries. They still have John Harbaugh is a hell of a football coach. He's done very well. It's really interesting that they're coming off a bye and they're I believe in the midst of a 4-game losing streak. So as much as you feel good about the Bears and the way things are going, hardly an easy game going to Baltimore and dealing with that group.
Yeah, and it looks like Lamar Jackson and Roquan Smith will be back, is what they're saying right now. So that's their two leaders. You're talking about a leader on offense and a leader on defense. You've got a MVP quarterback and a Pro Bowl and an All-Pro linebacker coming back. So that changes their entire outlook. You get 2 weeks off to get healthy, and you get those two guys healthy. That changes that team quite a bit.
Yeah, I think All-Pro left tackle Ronnie Stanley was in and out of the lineup too while they're on that losing streak. So. You lose 3 All-Pros and your team will go downhill a little bit. So if they're completely healthy, like you're saying, Mully, Coach John Harbaugh, of course, known to get teams on track. There'll be a tough challenge for Chicago Bears, but Chicago Bears continue to get better, man. I'm excited to see them go down there and compete.
Yep.
And we appreciate everyone still on hold that we didn't get to. You should know that Big Ant is doing the post-game show, and he will be on next. Anthony Herron will be on. I'm sure he'll be taking your phone calls as well. Want to thank Tyler Farringold for his great work again today. It's really fun to have guys like Ray Diaz and Tyler doing the job, and great work from you guys. Really appreciate it. Makes it so much easier for us, and we will be back next week, and we'll be celebrating the morning. I believe Olin will be on with us tomorrow. Patrick, I think you're Tuesday. Is that right? So it's nice to
Tuesday.
Yeah. I will repay you on Tuesday for a hamburger. Yeah, wimpy. Great stuff, and hang on for Big Ant. He'll be right with you. You are listening to the Football Postgame Show presented by Tech Decking and Railing and a Turo Tire on the Score.
Football Mondays are bigger than ever, with all of our shows joined by an unprecedented team of experts reacting after the game. Plumbers 911 Football Mondays are presented by Great Clips on Chicago's Sports Radio 670 The Score. Always live on the free Odyssey and iHeartRadio apps.
Seal out drafts, dust, and moisture with MD brand weather stripping from Menards. Create a comfortable living space and seal in the heat with the largest selection of in-stock weather stripping with over 100 products available to take home, and start saving on energy costs today. Save big money in all weather stripping at Menards, and check out our weekly flyer on menards.com for more great deals happening this week.
Save big money at Menards.
Hey, Mr. C, it's me. Well, I just picked up the ring. I actually went to Hellsberg. Thanks for that recommendation. Kate's gonna love that hers is from the same jeweler you got Mrs. C's ring from. They were so helpful throughout the whole process. They